Chapter 683. Suspicion was one thing. The key was to find evidence. I've consulted a law firm in Jing, Su Xiaoxue said. They will arrange for people to come as soon as possible. Okay, I've also found a lawyer here. They can cooperate with each other. He was very surprised by today's verdict. There was a lot of evidence, but the judge still dared to make such a biased verdict. How much did he get, or what kind of threats did he receive? He had never seen the young man who appeared in court today. He was not one of the 4 people who came last time. It seemed that there were other people in their team. Chao He? He remembered this name because when Chao He expressed some things, he was very clear. There were almost no flaws. This person is a talent. That afternoon, the professional legal staff that Su Xiaoxue had mentioned arrived. He didn't come alone. Instead, he brought 2 people with him. The 3 of them were a team. They came specifically for Wang Yao's case. Wang Yao called Zhang Ping over. The 2 sides met and got to know each other. At the same time, he handed over the information he had to the team. Where did you find these people? Zhang Ping asked Wang Yao in private. He knew the first of the 3 people. He was a famous lawyer. He also knew the law firm. It was very famous in China and could even take on foreign business. It was because they had cooperation with some big foreign law firms. These people could not be hired with money. My friend introduced them. Wang Yao pointed to Su Xiaoxue. Zhang Ping smiled. Zhang Ping smiled. At first, he was conflicted. After all, he was in charge of this matter. This could be understood as a kind of doubt on his ability. However, after knowing the specific identity of these people, he was relieved. Then, he was very happy to communicate with them. This was a rare opportunity for him. It was an opportunity to learn and expand his network, so he was very cooperative. In Lianshan County, 2 young people were sitting and drinking tea in a tea house. The employer's power is really powerful, Chao He whispered. He doesn't even want to show himself. Either he really cares about his reputation, or this Wang Yao isn't as simple as we think. Let's just use him as a tool. He's just testing the waters, Chao Hui said. Well, we can't rule out this possibility. I've ordered those people to act as well. Yes. The internet was definitely one of the hottest industries in the past few years. Weibo, WeChat, online shopping, and wireless payment. The rise of these things seemed to have happened yesterday, and they were already sweeping the world. This was the era of information. Even a small matter could cause a huge uproar on the internet. There was also a water army on the internet, adding fuel to the fire with a purpose. On this day, a piece of news spread very quickly. The village doctor had used the wrong medicine and caused the death of an old man. He had to be severely punished. This news could be seen on many websites, and the search results were very high. Very good. Chao He looked at the message on his phone and smiled. The general trend is about to take shape. Now, the power of public opinion was a double-edged sword. In some cases, public opinion even kidnapped the justice system, which was a bad thing. A large number of people did not know the real situation of some things at all. Just because of a possibly baseless piece of news on the internet, they expressed their opinions, expressed their dissatisfaction, and spread and promoted it. This was a sign of irresponsibility. In this regard, the supervision and punishment were not very strong. In the mountain village, the clinic was not open in the afternoon. Su Xiaoxue followed Wang Yao to Nanshan Hill for the first time. When she entered the spirit-gathering battle array, she felt the magic of the mountain. What a comfortable feeling! She took a deep breath. She only felt that the air there was so good to breathe. What do you feel? It's very strong, Wang Yao said. Is this the spirit between heaven and earth that you mentioned? Su Xiaoxue asked. This time she really felt it. Yes, this is it, Wang Yao said. Is the feng shui on this mountain very good? Su Xiaoxue asked curiously. Good, very good, Wang Yao said with a smile after thinking for a moment. But it was caused by the day after, Wang Yao said. I modified it. You are so amazing, Su Xiaoxue said. He took Su Xiaoxue around the mountain slowly. Although it was June, the mountain was covered with green trees. It was very cool. San Xian followed them quietly. When Su Xiaoxue first saw the dog, she was startled. The dog was really big. It was really like a lion. It was very oppressive. Fortunately, it was very human and had a friendly attitude to Su Xiaoxue. There are 2 other friends on this mountain, Wang Yao said. They are also the mountain guardians. Really? Can you introduce them to me? Well, wait a moment. San Xian, where is Xiaohei? Woof, woof, woof. San Xian barked loudly a few times. After a while, there was a rustling sound in the grass. Then, a snake appeared. The snake had black scales as thick as an adult's arm. When it saw Wang Yao, it coiled up. A snake. Su Xiaoxue unconsciously trembled. Let me introduce you to Xiaohei. Wang Yao patted Xiaohei's head with a smile. It was not angry at all. This snake is also spiritual, Su Xiaoxue said. The creatures between heaven and earth are all spiritual, but it depends on whether they are strong or weak, Wang Yao said. De Xia must have gone far away. I can't see him for the time being. That Sang Yi? Yes. Ring. Buzz. At this time, his phone rang. He picked it up and saw that it was Wang Mingbao. Hello, Mingbao. I sent you a few links, Wang Yao said. Take a look. That thing has spread like wildfire on the internet. Okay. Wang Yao picked up the phone and opened a few links. He carefully read the content and then frowned. The internet? They have a lot of means, Wang Yao said. Su Xiaoxue took the phone and read it carefully. Sir, I'll make a call. For this kind of thing, it was either to hire an internet water army to fight and clear up the bad effects, or to let it fend for itself. Wang Yao was thinking about hiring an internet water army, but Su Xiaoxue said she could handle it. She was very confident. Okay, I'll have to trouble you. Sir, you don't have to be so polite between us. On Weibo, many people expressed their concern for him, which made him very touched. That day, the court in Lianshan County received a call from the municipal government. Yes, I understand. It will be fair and just. After hanging up the phone, the director wiped the sweat on his forehead. Is it necessary to call the municipal government office? He knew very well what this phone call meant. The big boss in the city was concerned about one thing. Although the person on the phone did not mention a name, he also knew who the person on the phone was talking about. It was the case that had just been decided that day. Are you kidding me? He hurriedly found the information he trusted to find out more. Director, what's the situation? Just do your work, the director said. Don't ask so much. Yes. That day they spent the night in the mountain village. Chen Ying specially bought 2 adjacent houses and slightly renovated them a while ago. There was no problem for people to live in. In the evening, Wang Yao chatted with her for a long time. They also talked about the partnership between him and others to set up a pharmaceutical company. How about I come to work in your company after I graduate? Su Xiaoxue asked. Okay, Wang Yao immediately replied. Top students from Yanjing University, especially those in the economic field, were very popular among companies and departments. When will the construction start? The procedures are still being approved. We'll talk about it after it's approved. The location is set in Lianshan County, Wang Yao said. Will you be seeing patients tomorrow? Since you're here, I won't be seeing patients. I'll accompany you around. Okay. In the evening, Wang Yao updated the news on Weibo. The next morning, he drove Su Xiaoxue to a nearby county. There was a very big ginkgo tree on the mountain which had a history of thousands of years. Chapter 684. Where are we going? Su Xiaoxue asked. A mountain called Fulai Mountain, Wang Yao said. It's my first time there. To be honest, it was not the best time for them to go there. It was late autumn when the leaves of the ginkgo trees turned yellow. That was the most beautiful time. They went to the mountain mostly to see the tree. By the way, the mutton there is also quite famous, Wang Yao said. We'll have a good meal at noon. Do you come here often? No, I've only passed by twice, Wang Yao said. Although they were next to each other, Wang Yao had only been there twice. This county was much bigger than Lianshan County. It was almost twice the size. The economy here was better than Lianshan County. The population here was also larger. In fact, Fulai Mountain was not very high. It was not even as high as Nanshan Hill. Moreover, it was not a holiday or a weekend, so there were not many people there. There was an antique temple on the mountain. After entering the temple, they saw the big tree. The ginkgo tree was huge. The courtyard was not small. The shadow of the tree's canopy almost covered half of the courtyard. The trunk was so thick that it would take several people to wrap their arms around it to encircle it. It was very cool under the shade of the tree. The tree had experienced thousands of years of wind and rain, but it was still luxuriant. This tree has to be thousands of years old. Su Xiaoxue looked up at the tree. The leaves were so thick that no sunlight could pass through. Yes. She circled the tree a few times and took a few photos. What are those? She pointed to some red silk hanging on the tree. They should be left behind when making a wish. It is said that making a wish to this tree is very effective. Maybe we should make a wish? Okay. The two of them counted and made a wish. Su Xiaoxue closed her eyes and put her hands together. She was very sincere. After making their wish, they strolled around the temple. In fact, there were temples on 9 linked mountains that had been around for a long time. However, they were completely destroyed during the early days of the country's founding. It was a pity that this temple was much luckier. It was almost completely preserved. Su Xiaoxue seemed to believe in these things very much. When she saw the Buddha statue, she made a sincere wish. Wang Yao just stood aside. In a corner of the temple, an old monk had set up a stall. He was leaning on a chair with his eyes closed, seemingly asleep. Sir, there is a fortune-teller here. Shall we have a fortune-telling session? Sure. The old monk was woken up by their conversation. You two are fortune-tellers? Could you please take a look at it? Su Xiaoxue asked with a smile. He's not a master, just an old monk, the monk said with a smile. What does it count for? Career, marriage, family? Can I trouble master to take a look at them? The old monk asked for their birth dates and 8 horoscopes. Then, he looked at them carefully. This young lady was born in a wealthy family. Your family is either rich or respectable. Judging from your appearance, you seem to be a person of great fortune. Judging from your horoscope, when you were in your 20s, you encountered a calamity that threatened your life. It wasn't easy for you to pull through. The old monk's voice was very gentle. Su Xiaoxue kept nodding her head. This is a calamity. After this calamity, your life will be smooth and smooth, the old monk said with a smile. What about marriage? Su Xiaoxue asked. Marriage will naturally be smooth, the old monk said. He then turned to look at Wang Yao. Benefactor, judging from your horoscope, your fortune can only be regarded as ordinary, but looking at your face. The old monk looked carefully and then shook his head. What's wrong, master? Wang Yao was not in a hurry, but Su Xiaoxue was anxious. I can't see through it, the monk said with a smile. Benefactor, are you a practitioner? The monk asked. Oh! Wang Yao was stunned. He didn't expect the monk to be so capable. He could see through this kind of thing. He had underestimated him. May I ask how you can see through it? It's just a feeling. The monk smiled. Kind of, Wang Yao admitted. That's right, the monk said. That's why I can't see through your face. You can't see through it? Yes, practitioners, the monk said. Some things in the fortune-telling have changed. It is full of uncertainty. Today your face is like this. 3 years later, it may be different. Benefactor, you may want to keep it in your daily life to see if your face is changing. Grandmaster, have you seen other cultivators? I have seen one. May I ask where he is? In fact, Wang Yao also wanted to meet other cultivators. He wanted to see what their cultivation was like and what they were practicing. There is a monk on Wutai Mountain who has comprehended Buddhist scriptures. He is a real master. Wutai Mountain in Shaanxi. Yes. It was a famous Buddhist holy land. Well, thank you, master. The two of them donated some money at the temple and then left. Are you thinking about the master on Wutai Mountain? Yes, I want to go and have a look. Shall we go to Wutai Mountain together when we have time? Sure. After going down the mountain, they went to the most famous mutton restaurant in the area. The restaurant was not small. At least, when they arrived, it was lunchtime. There were many people eating there. However, the taste of the mutton soup was only average. After all, there were so many people eating there. It was difficult to guarantee the taste. After having dinner, the two of them drove back to Lianshan County. The team of lawyers hired by Su Xiaoxue from Jing had a very detailed discussion with Zhang Peng about the case. They already had a plan. The next step was to wait for the court to reopen. 3 days later, the court reopened. This time, there was a big reversal of the verdict. Wang Yao did not have to bear any legal responsibility. This was the final verdict. The young man named Chao, he gave up the right to appeal. It felt like a child's play. Sitting in the gallery, Su Xiaoxue asked Chu Lian, who was next to her, "Have you found out about Chao He's situation?" "Yes," Chu Lian said. The court announced the verdict. In the car, Wang Yao carefully looked at Chao He's information. He came from a very poor mountain village in Zhongyuan. He was a student at a key university in China. He majored in psychology and law. His grades were very good. When he was in school, he received a scholarship every year. "Well, that's great," Wang Yao praised. "How could such a person be with those scumbags? Their surnames are Chao, and their hometown is very close. Maybe they are relatives? In People's Hospital in Haik. Doctor, what is the disease of my brother?" Chao Hui asked the attending doctor. "Miss, to tell you the truth, we haven't determined the specific cause of his illness so far, but his body has a considerable rejection of food. As long as he eats something, it will stimulate his stomach and turn into vomiting. We are now trying to find a way to eliminate this reaction, but the effect is minimal," the attending doctor said. It was the first time he had encountered such a strange illness in all these years. "It can't be delayed like this," Chao Hui said. "If you don't want to wait, you can apply to be transferred to a better hospital," the doctor said. If he couldn't cure them, he wouldn't stop them. He was responsible for the patients and himself. "Okay, thank you, doctor," Chao Hui said. "It's my pleasure." She came out of the doctor's office and went to the ward. Chao Hui was also back. "How is it?" Wang Yao asked. "He won. The lawyer was from Beijing," Chao Hui said. "Moreover, I think the county court should be under some kind of pressure from the higher-ups. This is just a formality." "Brother, shall we give up?" Chao Hui asked. "If you continue, you may lose your life." In fact, the main reason Chao Hui wanted to give up was Chao Meng, who was lying in the hospital bed. Based on Chao Meng's description of the whole thing, Chao Hui was sure that the reason these people had such diseases was because of Wang Yao. He was a doctor. Over the past few days, he had learned that Wang Yao was a very good doctor. He could treat headaches, leg pain, heart disease, cerebral thrombosis, and many other difficult diseases. Doctors could cure people and make people sick. He suspected that Chao Meng was poisoned by Dr. Wang, but they couldn't find out. They didn't have any evidence. Chapter 685. "Okay, I'll leave it to you and Xiao Hui," Chao Meng said. "Leave it to us," Chao Meng said. Outside the ward, the other 4 people were gathered there. "Brother, who are these 2 people?" "I don't know. I've never seen them before. Are they new to the gang? New to the gang? Why does the boss trust them so much? Is the boss disappointed in us? While they were talking, Chao He and Chao Hui came out of the ward. Brother needs to be transferred to Jing City, Chao He said. Jing City? Okay, we'll go with him, Chao He said. These people had never been to the capital before, so they wanted to go with them. Anyway, these people had a fixed income every day to provide them with food, drinks, and lodging. Although it wasn't a lot, it was basically reaping without sowing. I'll go through the transfer procedures. You take care of brother, Chao He said. Don't worry, no problem, Chao He said. Chao He and Chao Hui went out. Brother still doesn't want to give up. Try to persuade him when you have time. I've tried to persuade him. Brother values money very much, Chao Hui said. No matter how important money is, he has to be alive to spend it. I have a hunch that he won't have a good result in Jing City this time. Let's have a try. In another ward, Chao Zizhen stared at the ceiling. There was no light in his eyes. He seemed to be stupid. He was very regretful now. He should not have come. He should not have joined the gang. He should not have killed his father. His condition was worse. Chow Meng and the others vomited whatever they ate. They could not eat and could only live on intravenous drip. He was different. In addition, his nose and ears would bleed from time to time. It was once every 3 days. It was very regular. It was like a woman's period. He was particularly dizzy. His hearing and smell were seriously impaired. Now, he needed to speak loudly. The doctor said that if it went on, he would soon lose his hearing and smell. The key was that the doctors here could not find out the reason. The reason was unknown, let alone the treatment. He knew the reason. It must be because of the doctor called Wang Yao. He and the others were sick because of that young man who was about the same age as them. He wanted to go to the mountain village now, kneel outside the clinic, and confess everything. As long as he could cure his strange disease, as long as he could keep his life, he was not afraid even if he had to go to jail. But now, his body was so weak that he could not even get out of bed, let alone leave. Sigh. A sigh. I regret it. Tears flowed from the corners of his eyes. Hike City Airport. Have a safe journey. Please let me know if you need anything, Su Xiaoxue said. She was going back today. The matter here had come to an end, and she still had her own studies to complete. She had taken a long leave of absence during this period. Yes. Before leaving, Wang Yao hugged her gently. Take care of yourself. After watching the two of them disappear from his sight, Wang Yao turned around and left. He stood outside the airport, watching the plane soar into the sky and disappear into the sky. 10 days ago, in Jing, Su Xiaoxue had looked at the sky like this. Now it was his turn. Take care, sir. At the same time, 2 cars set off from Hike and went in the direction of Jing. Wang Yao drove back to the mountain village. The clinic was open. That day there were no patients in the clinic. They were all friends. Jing Shixiang, Jing Weijun, Wenwan and her son, and Zhong Luchuan and his sister all asked Wang Yao how things were going and whether he needed help. Thank you all. Wang Yao thought carefully and decided to treat everyone to a meal in the evening. He chose a restaurant in the village to express his gratitude. He booked the phone number and told his family. In the evening, all the people he invited came. It was a big table. Thank you for your concern and help during this time. I'd like to propose a toast to you all. Wang Yao raised his glass and drank it in one go. You are welcome. This is what we should do. Except for the patients, the rest of the people drank the wine in their glasses. This was the first time that the patients in the village had gathered together. Although they often met and exchanged a few words, it was the first time that they actually sat together. It was a good opportunity to further communicate with each other and become friends with each other. The guests and the host enjoyed the meal. It didn't end until 9 p.m. Wang Yao returned home and said goodbye to his family. He then went up the hill alone. At the foot of Nanshan Hill, the trees planted some time ago were growing very well. The mountain wind blew and the leaves rustled. Wang Yao walked closer to the tree and patted the trunk. Grow well. A person slowly climbed up the mountain. On the hill, the lights were turned on. The sound of chanting was heard. It was not loud, but it traveled far. The next day, the clinic opened. 2 patients came in the morning and only 1 in the afternoon. In fact, the patients didn't matter to him. He contacted Li Xiu again and bought a few more trucks of trees. He would come the next day. Taking advantage of this leisure opportunity, he carefully checked the previous plan and made a little modification. On the internet, the relevant news did not fade. It seemed to be still fermenting. The next morning, the trucks loaded with trees came. Wang Yao closed the door after seeing a patient. The trees were unloaded at the foot of the hill. Seeing that the trees planted by Wang Yao were growing very well, Li Xiu praised. "You are really good at planting trees." "It's okay," Wang Yao replied with a smile. "If you don't see patients and change to this line of work, remember to tell me. I'll treat you." Of course, this was just a joke. A total of 3 trucks came back today. "Okay. Do you need help? It's free." "No, I can do it myself." After the trees were unloaded, he immediately began to work. He was familiar with the location, digging holes, planting trees, and watering. San Xian also came down from the hill to help. He basically held the tree with one hand and filled the soil with the other. San Xian was responsible for checking if the tree was right, or if San Xian was holding the tree in his mouth, he was responsible for checking if it was right. The cooperation between the man and the dog was quite tacit. The trees in the morning were not all planted. In the afternoon, new trees came. In the afternoon, Wang Yao said that his parents also came to help, so the speed was much faster. When the sun was a little lower, the siblings went up the hill for a walk. When they saw it, they also came to help. "Dr. Wang, why are you planting so many trees?" Zhong Anxin asked curiously. "To beautify the environment and purify the air." "Ah, the air on this hill is good enough." It was because they felt that the air on the hill was very clear that the siblings came to the hill every day when it was cool in the afternoon. "The land is idle, so I planted trees. You see, there are cherries, apricot trees, and apple trees," Wang Yao said. "They will be ripe by this time next year. Remember to come and eat them." "Well, I will." Zhong Anxin smiled and worked harder. Zhong Luchuan had a faint smile on his face. "Thank you," Wang Yao said. "It's my treat tonight." "No need, Dr. Wang," Zhong Luchuan said. "I bought a big fish today. It has been cleaned and stewed for dinner. Would you like to come and eat with me?" "Ah, no, thank you." It took him 2 days to plant all the trees. After the trees were planted, the semicircular forest at the foot of Nanshan Hill had taken shape, although it was still a little thin. At this point, there was only one road left to go up Nanshan Hill. "San Xian, what do you think?" Standing on Nanshan Hill, one could clearly see the forest at the foot of the hill. It was curved like a crescent moon. Woof, woof, woof. The basic framework is there. The next step is to continue to fill it and let it extend all the way to the foot of the hill. In Jing, thousands of miles away, after settling down and finishing the examination, Chao He went to the doctor's office and asked about Chao Meng's condition. "Doctor, can you check my brother's illness? How long has their illness lasted?" "Nearly 10 days, Chao He said. For such a long time, he hasn't eaten anything and only relied on the drip," Chao He said. "The patient's physical condition is not optimistic. His stomach has shown signs of disease." Disease? Chapter 686. Lesion. This word was usually very bad when used on a patient. Chao He's face changed. "Can you be more specific? Do you want more details?" the doctor asked seriously. "In other words, there is a possibility of cancer." "What? How is that possible?" Young man, what is the cause of cancer? The doctor asked. Genetic mutation, Chow he said. Ah, you are talking in a very deep way, the doctor said. To put it simply, it is a change in the body's environment and the continuous stimulation of adverse factors. This is his current situation. He can't eat. Once he eats, his body will immediately reject it. These organs in the human body have their own duties and functions. The stomach is used for digestion. They need to work regularly, otherwise there will be problems. Just like a house will be abandoned for a long time, if you don't take care of the farmland and don't plant crops, weeds will grow. Not only will the stomach not work for a long time, some of its original normal functions will not work normally, and there will be changes. Doctor, do you have any good suggestions? Chow he asked. I can't think of a good way for the time being, the doctor said. We will organize a consultation tomorrow. Let's think of a way together. Thank you, Chow he said. It's my pleasure. Chow he came out of the doctor's office with a heavy heart. How is it? Chow Hui, who had returned from work, asked. Not good. He shook his head. It was not good. After hearing Chow Hui's words, Chow Hui was silent. Maybe you are right, Chow Hui said. Brother and the others should admit their mistakes. In the end, the one who tied the bell should untie it. Go to the mountain village. Don't tell brother. Okay. The next afternoon, Chow Hui went to the mountain village alone. She easily found the clinic. There were no patients in the clinic. She knocked on the door and went in. Hello, Dr. Wang. Hello. Wang Yao was slightly surprised to see this person. She looked very intellectual. She was pleasant to look at, but she looked tired. My name is Chow Hui. I am Chow Meng's sister. I know. Have a seat, Wang Yao said. Chow Hui was a university student from a remote mountain village in the Central Plains. She graduated from one of the top universities in the country and majored in accounting. She and Chow Hui were from the same village, and both of them worked for Chow Meng. It was hard to imagine that a scumbag like him had two such outstanding talents under him. One was proficient in law, while the other was proficient in accounting. In fact, he was very curious as to why these two people were so loyal to him. You're a beauty, but why are you a thief? I'm very curious. Why would such outstanding talents like you follow Chow Meng? I'm from the same village as Chow Hui. It's a very poor village. Chow Hui looked out the window, and her thoughts drifted back to a long time ago. It's not that I can't eat, but it's almost the same. I have to walk 4 or 5 miles to go to primary school. When I was in middle school, I lived in the dormitory and ate the worst food. I'm holding my breath. I want to study hard and get into a good university to change my life. I don't want to continue living in that mountain village. Chow Hui's voice was very calm. When I was in high school, my family didn't want me to go to school because I have 2 younger brothers. My parents hoped that I could drop out of school and work to pay for their education. After all, it's a village. They still have the mentality of valuing boys over girls. Chow Hui said, My father said that even if I got into a university, my family didn't have the money to pay for my education. I said I could apply for a loan. Because of this, I had a cold war with my family. I didn't go home for 2 months. I borrowed money from the head teacher to eat in school. Drink some water. Wang Yao poured a glass of water for her. Thank you. Just like that, I persevered until the 3rd year of high school. That year, my mother fell ill and was hospitalized. She needed 40,000 yuan for treatment. 40,000 yuan might not sound like much now, but to my family, it was a huge sum. My father borrowed and pooled together 24,000 yuan. That day, he told me, Xiao Hui, don't go to school anymore. When I heard that sentence, I cried. I suffered so much in the 2 years of school. The students in the city ate KFC, cake, and ice cream, but I never ate them. I only ate steamed buns and vegetables. I wore clothes with patches. I endured the supercilious looks. I persevered. I was about to succeed, but at that moment I couldn't hold on anymore. When Chao Hui said this, her eyes were faintly filled with tears. At that time I was crying on the side of the road. My brother appeared. He asked me why I was crying, so I told him. At that time he was smoking. After a long silence, he asked me to take him home. He collected the rest of the money to pay for my mother's treatment. The premise was that my studies couldn't be interrupted. If I needed money for school, I could tell him. You know, at that moment I felt that he was a god, a living bodhisattva. Her words surprised Wang Yao. He didn't expect that scumbag to have such a side. After that, I was admitted to a university as I wished. Half of the expenses for the first and second years were paid for by him. Without him, let alone going to university, I probably couldn't have successfully completed high school. My life would have been different. Maybe I would have found someone in the village to marry and have children. Then, I would have continued to live the same life, facing the yellow soil and back facing the sky, pinning the hope of the future on my children. These words made Wang Yao feel sad. Chao Hui's situation is similar to yours, right? Yes, he is better than me, but not much better, Chao Hui said. At the most difficult and gloomy time of their lives, Chao Meng had chosen to help them. At that moment, Chao Meng was indeed a savior to the two of them. No matter how evil he was, he had helped them and changed their lives. This kindness was remembered in their hearts. In the future, even if they knew that he had done evil things, they would choose to help him. Even if it meant breaking the law, they would not hesitate to do so. Now that the doubts had been cleared, it was time to talk about business. Dr. Wang, can you cure my brother's illness? Yes, Wang Yao said. What are the conditions? Plead guilty, be executed, and be the mastermind behind the scenes, Wang Yao said. Sure enough, Chao Hui thought to herself. He probably doesn't know who the mastermind is, Wang Yao said. The first two conditions, Wang Yao said. I know what you mean. I will go back and pass on your message. Well, leave them, Wang Yao said. Chao Hui just smiled. They really wanted to repay their kindness, but she did not know when they would report it. Chao Hui did not know either. Perhaps, if Chao Meng really admitted his guilt, it would be a relief for them. Over the years, although the two of them had not directly done evil, they had indirectly done some things for him. It's better to end it early. After coming out of the clinic, Chao Hui communicated with Chao Hui through the phone. You can come back. Since he knew that the illness was caused by Dr. Wang, the next thing to do was to persuade his boss to bow down and admit his mistake or continue to be stubborn. After seeing Chao Hui off, Wang Yao pondered for a long time in the clinic. A pitiful person must have something hateful. There must be a lot of people like Chao Hui and Chao Hui in China. What a pity! He sighed. The night was very quiet. Wang Yao sat outside the cottage and looked at the sky. San Xian was quietly lying beside him. San Xian, do you know I met a pitiful person today? He believed what Chao Hui said was true because he had read her and Chao Hui's information. He knew her family, but he did not know her past. Woof, woof, woof. San Xian barked twice. There will be a thunderstorm tomorrow. In the morning, he went to the hill. The sky was a little gloomy. He did not conduct qi or practice boxing. He just stood quietly, looking at the sky, looking around, and looking at the corner of the mountain village in the distance. He did not know when the mountain began to grow. It had not stopped until now. Wang Yao did not know how much it would grow. If it wanted to grow, let it grow. This was Wang Yao's attitude. Besides, he could not limit the growth of a mountain, could he? The mountain had a spirit. The sky was gloomy the whole morning. Chapter 687. A patient came to Wang Yao's clinic in the morning. He had a headache and could not sleep well. After Wang Yao gave him an injection and massaged him a few times, the old man immediately felt much better. Done. That's it? Don't I need to take medicine? The old man asked. Your problem is not serious. You don't need to take medicine, Wang Yao said with a smile. That's good, that's good. Thank you. You really live up to your reputation, the old man praised. You flatter me. Wang Yao could see that the old man seemed to be a little worried when he came to see the doctor. He guessed that it must be the influence of the death that had occurred some time ago. This was also the main reason why the number of patients in the clinic had decreased recently. Some people also left him a message on Weibo, vaguely mentioning this matter. They also advised him to explain and dispel the doubts of others. Wang Yao did not say much. Master. Pan Jun also came that morning. There were no patients, so Wang Yao talked to him again. He also showed him the case notes of his treatment during this period. Take a look at these things. Maybe you can learn something. These were the accumulation of Wang Yao's experience. They were even the foundation for future medical books, so they were very important. Thank you, Master. Pan Jun also knew the importance of these notes. You can only read them here. You can't borrow them. Okay. It was a rare opportunity. Pan Jun naturally had to cherish it. Wang Yao was reading a Taoist scripture. You can ask me if you don't understand anything. Okay. Pan Jun read very slowly. He tried hard to record what he saw in his mind. The diagnosis and treatment needed to be systematic. It was not just a simple massage. It needed to understand the pathology and then determine the cause of the disease. It needed to be done according to the symptoms, acupuncture, massage, medicine, and so on. At noon, Wang Yao said softly, "Well, you can stop here in the morning. Take a rest." Sigh. Pan Jun put down the notes in his hand reluctantly. The things recorded in it were like another colorful world to him, which made him very addicted. He had lived in a medical family since he was a child. His father was an old Chinese medicine practitioner, and his sister and brother were also studying medicine. Although he studied Western medicine, he also had a certain foundation in Chinese medicine. He could understand it, but he was not a professional after all. He could only understand it but could not go deep or through it. His biggest advantage was that he knew his own ability and limits, so he stopped in time when Wang Yao asked him to stop. He was not greedy, which was very rare. Let's go and eat. Wang Yao didn't pay him a salary, but every time Pan Jun came, he would always provide a meal. There were a few dishes and a bottle of wine. Master, is it appropriate to drink at noon? It's suitable. You drink it. I'll watch. Ah! It's okay. It's okay to drink some. You don't have to do surgery. Besides, there aren't many patients here these days. It's not a big deal. Oh, that's good. In fact, Pan Jun was also a person who loved drinking. However, the requirements for his profession were very high. He couldn't treat patients while drunk, and it was even more impossible for him to perform surgery. If such a situation occurred, he would be punished. Opposite the restaurant was a river. Further south was a mountain. The mountain was planted with chestnut. The mountain breeze was very cool. Master, are there only 2 of us in our school? After drinking a few glasses of wine, Pan Jun gradually became more talkative. Yes, for the time being. I think you should take in 2 more apprentices. Why? Your skills should be passed on, Pan Jun said. My level is limited. If I can be as good as you in massage alone, I'll burn incense to thank the gods. You see, there are also pulse-taking, acupuncture, and prescription. Master, didn't you say that you want to carry forward this line of medicine? Needs people. Wang Yao had indeed told him to carry forward the line of medicine. This was also the task proposed by the system. For everything to succeed, the most important thing was people. I've also thought about this, but I haven't met the right one, Wang Yao said. This skill was not something that could be learned by just anyone. At the very least, the person had to be righteous and not have bad intentions. It was best to have a certain foundation. Moreover, the person had to be someone that Wang Yao was familiar with. There were not many people who met these conditions. Accepting apprentices was also about fate. After dinner, the master and apprentice strolled slowly. They chatted while walking. This mountain village is really good. After staying here for a long time, one would unnaturally like this place. This kind of tranquility was not even present in Lianshan County, which was close by. If you like it, you can buy a house here. Maybe the value will increase, Wang Yao joked. Buy, definitely buy, Pan Jun said. Master, is this the base camp of our pharmacists in the future? Yes, Wang Yao said. That's right. If you buy it now, it will definitely increase in value in the future, Pan Jun said with certainty. Increase in value? Wang Yao looked at the road under his feet. In the mountain village in front of him, there was a cement road in the middle. It was less than 30 feet wide. It was the only road in the village. On both sides of the road were houses with white walls and red tiles. It was a typical northern building. On both sides of the road were mountains, Shishan Mountain and Dongshan Mountain. There were trees, weeds, and mountain rocks. In this village, people of his age basically did not live in the village. They all bought houses in Lianshan County. Most of the younger people were studying in the county. Some of them would go abroad to study in the future. After graduation, some of them would stay outside. Some of them might come back, but they would not come back to the mountain village. Some of them might start to enter society after finishing high school. They might go out to make a living or stay in the county to find a job. They would not come back. Most of the young people did not like farming. Gradually, the mountain village would only have some old people left. Maybe in another 30 or 40 years, the mountain village would disappear. This was the general situation in China. The development of urbanization and the hollowing out of the rural areas. But this mountain village would not. He was confident. Beep, beep, beep. A car horn sounded behind him. He looked back. It was a big Benz with a foreign license plate. He stepped on the accelerator. The engine made a surging sound. The car sped past in front of them. Is it really fast in a mountain village? Pan Jun frowned slightly. Maybe it's an emergency. They walked slowly. On the road, they saw a chicken. It was a dead chicken. There was chicken blood on the ground. Obviously, it had just died. Was it run over by the car just now? What a pity, Wang Yao said. This chicken will be more delicious if it is raised for a while. Ah, master, do you like to eat chicken? No, let's go. Before they arrived at the clinic, they saw the car parked outside the clinic. Are you here to see a doctor? Ah, Wang Yao yawned. I'm a little sleepy. I won't see a doctor in the afternoon. Well, okay. The two slowly walked to the outside of the clinic. Pan Jun opened the door. Hey, they are here. Those two are the doctors. Two women in their 20s got out of the car. They were dressed very fashionably and were quite beautiful. They followed them into the clinic. I won't see any patients this afternoon. You can go back. As they entered the clinic, a voice came from inside and fell clearly into their ears. The two women were stunned. They did not leave. Instead, they went into the room and saw two men drinking tea. Didn't you hear what I said? No, you see, it's not easy for us to come all the way here. Can you take a look? One of the women asked. If you don't want to see a patient, wait until tomorrow, Wang Yao calmly said. Well, we can pay more. Wang Yao rubbed his forehead. People nowadays are so rich. Are they really so awesome? I don't want to see a patient. Let's go. Wang Yao's voice was a little louder. It was so loud that their ears were ringing. You! Let's go. We'll come back tomorrow. The other woman dragged her companion away. Isn't he just a small doctor? Why is he so awesome? The woman was very dissatisfied. Her voice was very loud. Keep your voice down. I've inquired about him. This doctor is very awesome. Impressive. I've heard about it too. He killed someone some time ago. If you don't want to see a doctor, we can go back. Chapter 688. Since you're already here, let's wait for a night, Wang Yao said. Master, can you tell which of the two girls is sick? Pan Jun asked. After spending time with Wang Yao, he knew that his master's medical skills were amazing in some aspects. For example, Wang Yao's 4 traditional methods of diagnosis: looking, listening, asking, and diagnosing. Some of Wang Yao's abilities subverted his understanding. It turned out that he could really tell whether a person was sick at a glance and where the illness was. He could also start the treatment without further diagnosis. Both of them are sick, Wang Yao said after taking a sip of tea. Both of them are sick. It's just that one can be cured, but the other can't be cured. Master, can I take a look at your notes? Here. Wang Yao took out the notes and handed them to him. Not long after, another person came in. It was an old man in his 60s. He looked healthy, but his eyes were a little straight. Accompanying him was a man in his 40s. Sorry, Pan Jun was about to say that he would not see any patients this afternoon, but he was stopped by Wang Yao. Master! Here. Okay. Hello, Dr. Wang. Come and see my father, the middle-aged man said. Sit down. What's wrong? My head is numb and dizzy. I have some double vision, the old man said. How long has it been? About a month. Do you have heart problems? Have you had surgery? Wang Yao said. Ah, yes, I put a stent, the middle-aged man said. There are 2 problems. First, numbness and double vision are due to a slight blockage of the meridians in the head. This can be dredged. Second, dizziness is due to insufficient blood supply. The problem is in the head and the heart. There is no good way to cure it, Wang Yao said. Please take a look at the head first, the middle-aged man said. One problem is solved. Okay. The problem was simple. Wang Yao could solve it by acupuncture and massage. It was not a big problem. After acupuncture, the old man seemed to be a little impatient. Is it still early? His tone was very stiff. It will take some time. Where are you feeling unwell? The old man didn't say anything after hearing that. He just sat there stiffly. Just tell me if you don't feel well, Wang Yao repeated. What's wrong with you? The middle-aged man next to him asked. I'm fine, the old man said stiffly. Wang Yao was still worried. He checked his pulse to make sure there was no problem before continuing the treatment. After inserting the needles, he was just about to massage when the old man asked again, Are you done? This time, Wang Yao stopped and looked at the old man. Is there an emergency in your family? The old man didn't speak, and his eyes were a little stiff. This again. The middle-aged man who accompanied him said angrily. You don't have to worry about him, doctor. He's just like that. He's a little stubborn. You can continue with the treatment. Then, Wang Yao massaged his head. Are you feeling better? He asked the old man after the treatment. Are you done? The old man's answer was obviously doubtful. The treatment process is done. Let me ask you, are you feeling better? It was the first time Wang Yao had met such a strange old man. Well, let's go, he said to his son. Is it real or fake? The middle-aged man said angrily. The old man didn't respond. He left without looking back. The middle-aged man could only pay the money and leave with the old man. Hey, this old man is interesting, Pan Jun said with a smile. Well, he is quite interesting, Wang Yao said. This kind of temper was hard to bear, especially for his children. They couldn't figure out what the old man was thinking. Old child, old child. When the old man reached a certain age, his temper would be like that of a child. He was very capricious and changed very quickly, which was very surprising. Is his illness serious? Pan Jun asked. Fortunately, his heart disease is quite serious. One of his blood vessels has shrunk so much that he has put a stent. Moreover, his illness and temper are not good, Wang Yao said. People with a bad heart must control their temper and try to keep it as calm as possible. They can't fluctuate too violently. Look at the old man's temper. Ha ha. Master, I thought you didn't see any patients this afternoon? I don't like the two girls, so I didn't let them see me, Wang Yao said. When others come, they will see what they should see. What's wrong with the two girls? Pan Jun asked. Sinful, Wang Yao said. Pan Jun was stunned. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Let's keep them in suspense first if they still come. By the way, are you going to work tomorrow? Pan Jun asked. I'll change shifts with someone, Pan Jun said with a smile. Outside the clinic, after getting into the car, the middle-aged man asked his father, Dad, are you feeling better? I'm fine, the old man said coldly and stopped talking. Sigh. The middle-aged man sighed and drove his father back home. After returning home, his mother came out and asked, How is it? I gave him acupuncture and a massage. My dad didn't say how he felt, the middle-aged man said to his mother. Okay, I got it. You can go back. Okay, call me if you need anything, Mom. Okay. The middle-aged man left the room. The woman went into the room and found her husband lying on the bed. What's wrong? You said you were not feeling well. Didn't he take you to see a doctor? Why did he call a doctor? The old man suddenly sat up with a face full of anger. He lives in a small village and is less than 30 years old. What can he see? I'm a doctor. I can see his ability at a glance. They are all busy and don't have time. They should at least go to the county hospital to see a doctor, the old man said. Didn't he take you there last time? Hike also went there, his wife said. That was last time. Well, the child means well. He said that the doctor is quite famous. Famous? How come I don't know? What do you know? You stay at home all day and listen to the radio or read the newspaper. What do you know? His wife seemed to be a little angry. It was said that people would go through menopause when they reached a certain age. Her husband's temper had been very strange in the past 2 years, especially after the operation. The doctor had specially instructed him to control his emotions as much as possible and not get angry, or to be less angry. Therefore, she had been very careful at home and accommodated him in all aspects. The children were the same. They all went along with him in everything. But the more it was like that, the stranger his temper became. He was so spoiled that he became sick. The man stopped talking and lay down again. His wife saw that and stopped talking to him. She went out directly. The more the man thought about it, the angrier he became. He wanted his son to take him to the hospital in the big city to have a look, not the small clinic in the corner of the mountain village. A little doctor who hadn't even grown out his hair was actually learning how to administer acupuncture. Was he treating him as a guinea pig? The old man lay down for a while and then sat up again. He walked back and forth in the room and drank 2 glasses of water. Then, he lay back down on the bed. In the mountain village, Pan Jun left at around 5 p.m. Sun Yunxing also came to say goodbye. The things in Dao should not be a big problem. He decided to go back. After all, he still had company matters to deal with. He could not stay in the mountain village all the time. Sir, about the pharmaceutical company, I have selected a few pieces of land. The local government has also expressed their cooperation. Take a look. Sun Yunxing took out a drawing. There were 2 places on it. They were flat places with convenient transportation. They could be built into a pharmaceutical factory. Chapter 689. Have the procedures been completed? Wang Yao asked. The Jing family is still running, but it won't be a problem. It's not the first time they've gone through the procedures, Sun Yunxing said. He had already communicated with Zheng Weijun before he came, so he knew about their progress. That was why he came to talk to Wang Yao. Can you take a look at it when you have time? Okay, Sun Yunxing said. The 2 locations selected on the drawings were in towns and villages. The place was relatively flat. Wang Yao still had a certain understanding of the biopharmaceutical industry. After all, he majored in biology. However, the prescriptions he could provide were all traditional Chinese medicine prescriptions. They did not require biological fermentation or chemical synthesis. They were mainly manual configurations. Therefore, the equipment required was relatively less, and the environmental pollution was much smaller. "Let's have dinner together tonight as a farewell," Wang Yao said. "I'll ask someone to arrange it right away," Sun Yunxing said. "Let's go out and eat." In the evening, the outsiders in the village gathered together again to see him off. "Sir, the village is almost 1/3 empty now, right?" "Almost," Sun Yunxing said. Now, when he came out every day, he found that there were significantly fewer people outside the village. There were also fewer people who went up the mountain to farm. They will come less and less. "Sir, have you ever thought about doing some development here?" Wen Wan's son asked. "Development? What? Rural tourism? The environment here is so good." "No, I don't want the village to become like that." Wang Yao had an attitude against such rural tourism. His personal opinion was that villages were used to live in. They should have their own peace. The villages in the mountains on TV were originally very good. However, with the reports and descriptions on TV, how beautiful the scenery was and how hospitable the people were, a large number of tourists poured in. Now, information and transportation were so developed that almost every family had a car fee. Many people came to visit and play in the originally peaceful mountain villages every day. It brought economic income to the local people, but it also made them lose something. Not everyone wanted their village to become like that, right? Wang Yao felt that his village was good now. It did not matter if there were fewer people. "Oh," the young man responded. He was just making a suggestion. Everyone was very happy during the meal. The next morning, Sun Yunxing left the mountain village and returned to Dao City to fight in the business world. "I don't want to go back after staying here for so long," Sun Yunxing said to Uncle Lin, who came to pick him up. "Young master comes here often," the old man said. After leaving the village, he turned back to take a look. The river in front of the village was flowing quietly. Pan Jun arrived at the mountain village before 8 o'clock in the morning. "You came so early?" "I'm used to it." That morning, the two girls who had left yesterday afternoon came again. They came quite early. As soon as they entered the courtyard, Wang Yao knew that they were here. "The two girls who came yesterday are here. Take a good look at them later," Wang Yao said to Pan Jun before entering the house. Not long after he finished speaking, the two of them pushed the door open and came in. There was a somewhat pungent fragrance. "Hello, we are here to see a doctor." This time, their attitude was much better. "Look at them carefully?" As soon as the two girls came in, Pan Jun stared at them very carefully. The two ladies could be considered pretty. They were tall and had dyed hair. One of them, in particular, was a top-notch beauty. She wore light makeup and had slight eye bags. She looked a little tired, as if she didn't sleep well last night. "Do you see anything?" Wang Yao asked Pan Jun. "No." Pan Jun shook his head. "Who is the doctor?" "Her." "Well, it was indeed her. I can't cure your disease." "Let's go," Wang Yao said lightly. "Ah." The two girls were stunned. They hadn't said anything yet, and he said that he couldn't cure them. Was this a joke? Pan Jun was also stunned for a moment. "Doctor, we haven't said what disease it is." "Gynecological disease?" Wang Yao asked. "You know?" The girl was stunned. "You know what the problem is. You have been to a big hospital. What did they say?" Wang Yao said coldly. "No, what do you mean, doctor?" The girl who wanted to see the doctor couldn't hold back her anger. She came to see the doctor yesterday, and the doctor asked them to leave without seeing them. Then, she stayed in the small town for a night. Now, he didn't even see her and said that he couldn't cure her. Was this a joke? Yesterday, you said you didn't want to see me. Today, you said you couldn't see me. Are you kidding us? Her voice was a little hoarse. Can you see it? Wang Yao turned his head and asked Pan Jun, "Huh?" Pan Jun shook his head. It was a joke. How could he see it? You can go. You better make it clear today. The beautiful girl was furious. She had never seen such a person. It was too infuriating. She had to get an explanation today. Go. Wang Yao said softly. The girl who wanted to make a scene took a step back. Her face became a little ugly. What's going on? Why is this person's voice so loud? She felt a headache coming on. You know what you've done? Wang Yao looked at her coldly. You what? When you did those things, you should have thought of today's result. No one can cure your disease. Wang Yao said. Hurry up and go. Don't be angry. The girl next to her pulled her companion and persuaded her. And you? Wang Yao pointed to the other girl. Stay away from her, lest you follow in her footsteps. What do you mean? Go. Wang Yao waved his hand impatiently. It was as if he was driving away two annoying flies. Let's go. The beautiful girl pulled her companion and left. You wait. Before leaving, she didn't forget to leave a threatening sentence. Oh! Wang Yao was stunned. What's wrong with society now? Is this all the rage? Wang Yao watched them leave. Master, what are you doing? Pan Jun was very curious. Today, his master's attitude was obviously not right. He could feel that he had a deep prejudice against the two ladies. Yesterday afternoon, they came and said that they would not accept patients and would not treat them. A few days later, they came and said that they could not treat them. Did you see anything? Wang Yao asked again. I saw that the girl who wanted to see the doctor didn't look very good. What else? Did you smell anything? Smell? They have such a strong perfume on their bodies. What can you smell? Do you still have the medical book I gave you? It's at home. I'd better look at it from time to time, Pan Jun said. He did insist on revisiting the old to learn the new. The girl who wanted to see the doctor didn't look energetic and had a dull face, Wang Yao said. I think her complexion is not bad, master. That's the effect of cosmetics, Wang Yao said. It covered her original complexion. Her complexion is actually very poor. Look at her hair and eyebrows. They are very dry. She also has a unique sour smell on her body, but it was covered by the strong perfume. What does this mean, master? Her body is very weak. She has lost a lot of vitality. The diagnosis can be understood as looking at people, where to look, walking posture, eyes, complexion, hair, walking posture. The body is healthy and the steps are strong. You saw when she entered the room just now. She walked like a willow branch in the wind, swaying left and right. Her legs were weak, and she didn't have a foothold. Well, don't all women walk like that? It's not the same. What about hair? That's simple, Wang Yao said. Humans are like the earth. You can understand the hair as plants or crop. The earth is rich, and the vegetation grows vigorously. When the earth dries up, the vegetation will naturally wither. In the past, Wang Yao had never told Pan Jun these things. Master, what's her illness? What's the cause? As I said, her illness is that her body has lost a lot of vitality. As for the cause, she had an abortion more than once. Wang Yao said. Chapter 690. Abortion? Master, you can tell? Pan Jun asked in surprise. You can tell if a girl is pregnant, but you can also tell if she has had an abortion? I can see that, Wang Yao said with a smile. And the sour smell I told you about just now has something to do with it. Gynecological disease? It's a very serious gynecological disease. Her private life should be quite promiscuous. Why didn't you let them come over yesterday? Pan Jun asked. Why didn't you let them come over today? This point alone was indeed unacceptable. If Pan Jun was the patient, he would probably be angry. I let them come to give another girl a chance, Wang Yao said. She also has a disease? Yes, she also had an abortion. Ah! Pan Jun was stunned. Like people, like friends. How could there be companions in this kind of thing? I made a bad friend. In the car, the two girls were still angry about what had just happened. Damn, that doctor, I'll make his clinic unable to stand it. Don't be angry. Her friend was thinking about what Wang Yao had just said. What does it mean? Let's go to the county. What are we going to do there? Report him. The pretty girl obviously didn't intend to let it go just like that. Are we really going? We have to go. She couldn't take it lying down. They really went to the relevant clinic to report it. Comrade, you have to deal with this matter as soon as possible. Okay, we got it, the staff in charge of reception said. Now that there was an accountability system, they had to investigate after receiving a report. However, it was hard to say what the two girls had just said. The service attitude was not good, and it was suspected of deception. He also knew about the clinic. In fact, Lianshan County was not a big place. Things that attracted attention spread quickly. Wang Yao and his clinic in the mountain village had a certain reputation in this small county. His reputation is pretty good, the person in charge muttered. Are those two foreigners? His colleague looked at the contact information left by them. Yes, I'm from another city, said Wang Yao. Judging from their looks and their tone, they must have been arrogant when they were treating the patient, which made the doctor unhappy. That's why he didn't let them see him, right? It's possible, but since the complaint has been made, we still have to deal with it. Let's write it down first. What kind of tea was the best? Wild, natural, and scenic, such as the tea trees on Nanshan Hill. Master, your tea is delicious. Pan Jun praised more than once. It's all right. It's grown on the mountain. It's absolutely natural and pollution-free. Tisk enjoy. At noon, Wang Yao received a call from the health bureau. The content surprised Wang Yao quite a bit. What's wrong, master? Those two girls actually complained about me. What? Pan Jun was also stunned. That's really good. The other party called to inquire about it. At the same time, he gave an appropriate reminder to Wang Yao. In fact, this was how the health bureau handled such matters. If it was a more serious call with conclusive evidence, the health bureau might punish them. However, they naturally knew how to deal with two foreigners and a well-known local doctor. This was the way of the world. Within a certain range, it did not involve a matter of principle. In the afternoon, there were two patients. When the two of them came in, Pan Jun would observe them carefully. He observed their walking posture, their eyes, their complexion, and the smell on their bodies. He couldn't tell anything from the two of them, but it was a good start. He was beginning to touch another level of Chinese medicine, outside of massage. Don't worry, Wang Yao said with a smile. I first started by feeling the pulse. In fact, the most difficult of the 4 ways is looking, listening, asking, and feeling the pulse. Yes, I know, Pan Jun said with a smile. Well, there should be no more patients. Let's go out for a walk. Okay. Just as they were about to go out, another patient came in. The person who came surprised the two of them. It was one of the two girls who came in the morning. Doctor, sorry to disturb you, she said with a smile. She looked a little nervous. It's you. Wang Yao glanced at her. She seemed to have come in a hurry. Come in and talk. Where's your friend? She has something to do, so she left first, the girl said. Are you here to see a doctor? Yes, no, I'm sick. The girl was surprised. She came here purely because of what he said in the morning. She was suspicious. Sometimes, the more suspicious people were, the more they felt there was a problem. She was like this. The more she thought about it, the more she felt there was something in what he said in the morning. Therefore, it was not easy for her to find an excuse to part with her good friend halfway. Then, she took a taxi and came here. However, she did not expect that after seeing Wang Yao, he would say she was sick. What kind of illness? Why are you not here to see a doctor? Wang Yao asked with a smile. I'm here to ask what you meant by what you said in the morning. Which sentence? He told me to stay away from my friend. Oh, well, you should know what kind of temperament and habits your friend has and what kind of character she has. One is marked by the company one keeps. The woman fell silent after hearing this. She knew very well what kind of person her friend was. Relying on the fact that she had grown up to be beautiful, she had made some rich friends outside. Some were young and some were middle-aged. Moreover, she had an ambiguous relationship with them. She had even accompanied her to deal with some matters and went to the hospital several times. Then, what's wrong with me? Don't you know? Your period comes very irregularly, and it's easy to have abdominal pain when it comes, Wang Yao said. How do you know? If she was doubtful at most before, she was shocked now. Every month when her period came, her lower abdomen would hurt badly, and it was very irregular. You also had an abortion, right? When the woman heard these words, her face turned deathly pale, as white as a piece of paper. This was a secret hidden deep within her heart. No one had ever spoken of it, not even her parents, because to her this was a very shameful matter. Perhaps she would only hide it in the depths of her heart for the rest of her life. She would never forget it, but she would never mention it. At this moment, this young doctor had suddenly revealed it, revealing it. It made her recall the past that she could not bear to look back on. She felt her face burning, as if she was being basked in the hottest sun of July. Sometimes there were some things that did not need to be admitted personally. Silence was also a kind of response. She tacitly agreed. Really? Looking at the girl's expression, Pan Jun knew that his master's judgment was right. Your friend is more powerful. She has had more than one abortion, right? Yes, as far as I know, 3 times, the girl said. Her voice was slightly trembling. She had not recovered from the shock just now. She accompanied her to the hospital for the 3 abortions and went through the procedures. She will not have children in her life. Wang Yao's calm words were like the evening drum and morning bell in the girl's ears. What? Not being able to have children was the most painful punishment for most women. Being a mother was the most difficult and the happiest thing in the world. In this world, everything has a cause and effect. The child in the belly is a precious life, a gift from God. It is not a stone on the ground that can be thrown away. Because of one's own selfishness, disregarding life, retribution is a matter of time. Wang Yao's words were quite metaphysical and even superstitious. Then what about me? The girl's face was a little red, but now it was white again. You, fortunately, can be nursed back to health. The girl breathed a long sigh of relief. If she could not raise children because of that accident, she might collapse. She did not know what expression her friend would have after knowing this. She was puzzled. She already knew. Then, can you take a look at me? Yes. Wang Yao gave her a checkup. Then, he prescribed a medicine to straighten out her qi and blood and regulate her yin and yang. Go back and take the medicine according to the prescription. Come back in 10 days. Oh, thank you. The girl paid the money and left. Chapter 691. Master, is the girl really infertile? Pan Jun asked again. It's not just infertility. How long she can live is also a problem. Pan Jun was stunned. He was trying to determine the life and death of a person. What she did has seriously damaged her origin, Wang Yao said. It's like a tree whose main root has been cut off. It still looks like it still has branches and leaves. It still has vitality, but it can't last long because it can't absorb nutrients. Let's go out for a walk. He didn't want to talk about this topic. For people like the girl who didn't cherish her own body, there was nothing to pity. The master and apprentice left the clinic and walked along the mountain road. It was past 4 p.m. The weather was not hot and the air was good. It was very suitable for exercise. Do you still have any questions? Yes, why did you treat the girl? I looked at her eyes, Wang Yao said. This girl is kind. He looked at people's faces and observed their eyes. Master, isn't this a bit mysterious? Pan Jun asked. Just listen. We were just chatting, Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay. Master, what are your dreams? Dreams? Why do you suddenly ask this? It's a bit high, Wang Yao said with a smile. In the past, he wanted to buy a few acres of land in the mountains, start his own business, and make a lot of money. However, the reality was cruel, and it was a slap in the face. That incident where he jumped into the water gave him a magical system, and his life changed dramatically. At this time, he gradually fell in love with growing medicine, making medicine, curing diseases, and saving people. Now, he wanted to talk about his dream, and that was to carry forward the profession of pharmacist. He also wanted to see how far he could go. Master? Carry out the line of pharmacists. Yes, dominate the world. Huh! Wang Yao was stunned. Why did you suddenly use such a word? Master, I have faith in you. At the foot of Nanshan Hill, he walked around the forest that had just been planted. Then, he turned around and went down the mountain. When he reached the entrance of the village, he happened to meet Zhong Anshin, who was out for a walk. After the treatment, the little girl had recovered very well. She could leave in a few days. These outsiders were very careful. Even if they came out for a walk, they did not continue to walk up Nanshan Hill. At most, they just looked from afar because they knew Wang Yao's rules. He did not like people to go up the mountain. Brother, are we leaving soon? Zhong Anshin asked as they arrived at the foot of the mountain and gazed at the forest below them. Well, I have asked Dr. Wang, Zhong Luchuan said. After taking these medicines, there will be no problem. I'm a little reluctant to leave. The little girl had begun to like the peace and tranquility here. If you like, we can stay. Stay here. You need to go to school. We can stay in Lianshan County and buy a house here. You can come back whenever you want. We can settle down here. In fact, he also had this idea. He had also inquired about it. The houses here already belonged to the Sun family. During his time in the mountain village, he had also had several contacts with Sun Yunxing. They could be regarded as acquaintances. It should not be difficult to settle this matter. Their hometown was in the area of Mount Wei. Their parents had brought them away from there a long time ago. Then, something happened along the way. The two of them depended on each other for survival. They did not have many relatives in their hometown. Other than going to the graves to offer sacrifices, they would not go. They had no contact with those relatives. Gradually, their feelings for each other faded. To them, it did not matter where they settled down. What do you think? Great! The little girl was happy to hear that. That's settled then. They were used to drifting and were tired of their previous life. If they could really settle down here, it would be a good thing. Brother, what about your job outside? That job, just quit it and find another one, Zhong Luchuan said. Naturally, he would not tell his sister what he used to do. To put it bluntly, it was a shameful job. He licked blood on the tip of a knife and was very risky. It happened that he did not want to do it anymore. During this time, he had saved some money in addition to the money he earned to treat his sister. If he wanted to buy a house in a second-tier city like Ji or Dao, it would not be a problem. In this small county, this small mountain village, buying a house, decorating it, and putting the remaining money in the bank as a break-even financial management, just the interest alone was estimated to be enough for the brother and sister to live on. Do you need to say hello to Dr. Wang? Take some time to tell him. Wherever the brother and sister went, that was their home. Master, I'm going back. Be careful on the road. Every time he came, Pan Jun drove by himself. Okay. Watching the car go away and disappear in the north of the village, Wang Yao returned home alone. Thousands of miles away in Jing, in a very famous hospital. Doctor, can you think of another way? Chao He and Chao Hui had been in the doctor's office for more than half an hour. After a few days of treatment, Chao Meng's situation had not improved at all. He still could not eat. As soon as he ate, he vomited badly. Such a condition also gave the doctor a headache. "We are working hard," the doctor said. "However, you have to be mentally prepared. Can you ask a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner to come and have a look?" "We have asked the doctors in the traditional Chinese medicine department to come and have a look," the doctor said. "They don't have a good way. In the current situation, the patient's stomachs were extremely delicate. As soon as they ate, they immediately had a strong rejection reaction and vomited everything. Because of the gastrointestinal spasm, it also caused terrible bleeding symptoms. In this case, they chose conservative treatment, which was already habitual. If it went on like this, the body would have a malignant mutation reaction. Sorry to trouble you. Well, look at you, the doctor said. You also need to rest. Don't drag your body down. The two of them came out of the doctor's office and went to the end of the corridor. It seems that there is no other way. Tell Big Brother, Chao Meng said. If it goes on like this, you will die. The doctor sighed. Things had come to this point. No one expected things to come to this point. In the ward, several patients were lying on the bed. They were weak and pale. They could not eat, not even liquid food. They could only stay alive through intravenous drip. Now, they did not even have the strength to turn over, let alone get out of bed. How is it? Chao Meng's voice could only be heard by himself. It was like smoke, dissipating as soon as it came out of his mouth. Not good, very bad, Chao he said. Now that things had come to this point, he did not want to continue like this. The doctor told us to be mentally prepared, Chao he said. He said that if you continue like this, it is likely that your lives will be in danger. Is there no other way? Chao Meng collapsed after hearing that. It was as if he had lost some kind of support. We have seen both Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, Chao he said. This is already the best hospital in China. Some time ago, Xiao Wei went to the mountain village and contacted Dr. Wang. What did he say? Chao, he can cure this disease, Chao he said. The condition is that you plead guilty and submit to the law. There was silence for a long time. Should they continue to live like this or accept the punishment of prison with a healthy body? Life or freedom? It needed to be considered. Can he cure it? Chao Meng's thoughts had begun to waver. He no longer insisted. Life was important. He said he can. Talk to him again. Okay, I'll go again, Chao Hui said. Chao Hui set off the same day. She arrived in Qi province at night. She stayed in Qi for one night. Then, she rushed to hike the next morning. She took a taxi and went directly to the mountain village. When she arrived, the door of the clinic was closed. She did not leave. She waited under the acacia tree outside the wall. In order to hurry, she did not eat lunch. She only had a loaf of bread and a bottle of mineral water. The sun was scorching that day. Fortunately, it was cool under the shade of the tree. Wang Yao, who came out of the house, saw Chao Hui standing under the acacia tree. Why are you here again? I have something to talk to you about. Chao Hui's attitude was very humble. This time, she came to ask for peace. She came to bow her head and admit her mistake. It was true that Wang Yao could cure them, but he could also choose not to treat them and let them fend for themselves. Come in and talk. Have a seat. Wang Yao stared at the girl with sweat on her forehead. Chapter 692. Did he come here overnight? Yes. Has he figured it out? Yes, Wang Yao said. After he is executed, I will treat him, Wang Yao said. You don't believe me? Wang Yao knew why she had come. I'm a little worried. Chao Hui thought it was better to say it out loud. Haha, I mean what I say. Chao Hui was silent after listening. This was just a verbal agreement. It didn't mean anything, but what good idea did she have? Can Dr. Wang go to Jing? Impossible. Wang Yao waved his hand. To be honest, whether they live or die depends on themselves. Do you think I care? Wang Yao asked. The reason why he had said so much to the woman today was that he felt she had something worth admiring. Although she had helped Chao Meng commit evil, she was fundamentally different from Chao Meng. Chao Hui was silent. She didn't know how to deal with it. This situation was completely different from the past. The initiative fell into the hands of the other party. They had no means of counterattack. Is this the so-called retribution? She thought to herself. Sorry to bother you. She thought for a while and didn't answer. She got up and left. They had traveled thousands of miles, day and night, and talked for less than half an hour. I won't see you out. Chao Hui left. At that time, the sun was shining in the sky. It was the hottest time of the day. In the afternoon, Zhong Luchuan and Zhong Anxin came to the clinic. The little girl's illness had been cured. Where are you going? Zhong Luchuan asked. We are going to stay in Lianshan County, Zhong Luchuan said. I want to buy a house here in this village. He had thought about it. He wanted to buy a house in the mountain village and in Lianshan County. He could let Zhong Anxin live in the school or go to Lianshan County to take care of her. Sure, Wang Yao replied with a smile. The villagers had chosen to leave, and the people outside had chosen to come in. They had chosen to stay. Jing Weijun was about to leave. He no longer needed the help of a wheelchair and crutches. He could walk slowly by himself. He had to walk around the mountain village every day. Uncle, I have to go back soon, Jing Weijun said. Yes, I have to go back, Jing Shixiang said. Actually, I don't want to go back. I think staying here is pretty good. After staying here for a long time, Zhang Tai would fall in love with the life here. It was tranquil and leisurely. Here, Zhang Tai didn't need to think about those business struggles, mutual deception and greed. He also didn't need to consider the conflicts between clans. Here, there was no heavy traffic, no hustle and bustle of people coming and going. There was no roaring of factory equipment. People here all walked slowly and leisurely. When Zhang Tai was free, he would make a cup of tea and think about something carefully. Once he left this place, these things would all remain here. He would have to continue facing those annoying battles. You don't belong here, Jing Shixiang said. Perhaps everything in a person's life had already been arranged from the moment they were born. They were supposed to walk the path of life, be it a meteoric rise, be unknown, or live a hard life. Jing Weijun didn't say anything. I really envy you, sir. He is an otherworldly person. Jing Shixiang evaluated Wang Yao in this way. Although he also had contact with the outside world and opened the clinic to see patients, it gave him the feeling that he was an otherworldly person. It couldn't be said that he was completely isolated from the outside world, but there was a layer of barrier between them and him. In the afternoon, there were not many patients. Wang Yao closed the door of the clinic early. When he returned home, he found his mother dealing with a wild rabbit. Are you on the street? Wang Yao asked. No, this was sent by Ziqing. I didn't want it. He threw it away and left. I think he has lost a lot of weight recently. Wang Ziqing. Wang Yao asked. It's him. In the past, he didn't treat Yilong well and was lazy. Now, he seems to have changed. This change could be seen by the people in the village. The prodigal son has returned, Wang Yao said. How do you like to eat it? Braised? Wang Yao asked. It's up to you, Wang Yao said. After dinner, Wang Yao stayed at home for a while. It was already 9 p.m. when he went out. At this time, there was no one on the street in the village. Only a few street lights were still on. Rumble! A trembling motorcycle drove south into the mountain village and stopped beside Wang Yao. Dr. Wang, Wang Yao said. Why did you come back so late? Wang Yao asked. Yes, I went out to do some work, Wang Ziqing said. In fact, he came back early at this time. He usually came back after 10 p.m. He didn't have so much work these days. He didn't want to come back so early. He wanted to make more money. Under the street lights, Wang Ziqing looked very tired. After all, he had to work more than 10 hours a day. It was normal to be tired because of the physical labor. I told you, you are too tired and need to rest, Wang Yao advised again. Well, I have a day off tomorrow, Wang Ziqing said. He was tired, but he felt that such a life was very fulfilling and somewhat helpless. You can try to do something else, Wang Yao said. Something else, what? Wang Ziqing was stunned. Plant herbs, Wang Yao said. Plant herbs? Who wants it? I want it, Wang Yao said with a smile. Well, but I have never planted it before, Wang Ziqing said. You know how to farm, right? It is the same as farming crops, Wang Yao said with a smile. Wang Ziqing was silent for a while. I want to try it. Okay. Thank you, Wang Ziqing said sincerely. Go back, your family is waiting for you. The motorcycle made a turn at a stone bridge in the village and headed west, disappearing into an alley. Wang Yao had thought about teaching others how to grow medicinal herbs a long time ago. After the matter of building the pharmaceutical factory was settled, he knew that this matter had to be implemented as soon as possible. His pharmaceutical company must use the most natural medicinal herbs, not those that were made by using fertilizers and other things to make medicinal herbs. The herbal field was limited, and he was going to mainly plant some licorice roots in it. In this way, he needed a lot of common herbs. These things could not all be provided by outsiders. Wang Yao also felt that it was better to have the main things in his own hands, so he thought of letting the people in the village grow herbs and let those who stayed grow herbs. As for the location, Dongshan Mountain was fine. There was a dead place in Shishan Mountain, so it was better not to go up. This was also the reason why he and Wang Ziqing had said that. At night, the village was very quiet. Plant herbs. When Wang Ziqing told his wife about it, she was a little surprised. Why do you suddenly think of this? I met Wang Yao this evening, and he mentioned it to me, Wang Yao said. We don't know how to plant herbs, Wang Yao said. It shouldn't be difficult, Wang Yao said. It's similar to planting. Aren't you at home? Shall we try it? Let's try it, Wang Yao said. Tomorrow is off. Ask him. Well, okay, Wang Yao said. Chapter 693. The villagers also knew that Wang Yao seemed to have made a fortune by planting herbs. He had bought an imported car and a house in the county. Some people had such an idea, but no one did it. Settle down and plant. The matter of planting herbs was settled. The next day, Wang Ziqing came to Wang Yao's clinic and asked him about planting herbs. I recommend a few kinds of gentian, radix, sealwort. Wang Yao listed a few herbs. You don't have to worry about the sales. I can also provide seeds and seedlings, but I have requirements. What requirements? These herbs can't use any fertilizers. Well, no problem. I have a few books here. You can take them to read. Wang Yao took out 2 books from the table. They were books about the cultivation of medicinal herbs. They were the books he had learned and read when he first started growing medicinal herbs on the mountain. The most basic things explained in the books were still very valuable for reference. He had been very attentive when he was growing medicinal herbs. Thank you. Wang Ziqing was very grateful. Well, how is your health? It's okay. The old man had been taking the medicine given by Wang Yao. He was in a good mood. His condition seemed to be well controlled. It did not worsen. He was very satisfied. Well, you must take the medicine on time. Wang Ziqing came back with the book. He discussed with his wife. The 2 of them chose a piece of land at the foot of Dongshan Mountain. It was their family's land. It was close. It did not seem to be very suitable for planting crop. They simply used it to plant herbs. In Jing, thousands of miles away, brother, what do you think? Chao Hui went and came back at night. She was very tired. She was tired. She was tired. I accept it. Chow Ming sighed. Get me discharged. You guys go with me, Chow Ming said. Brother, you can't leave the hospital in this situation. The people who came the day before were stunned. They did not know the truth, but they knew that if they went out like this, they would probably die. If they died, who would give them money? Shut up! Chow Ming yelled. He was already weak. If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have done it. For the past few days, lying in bed, he had been thinking about the things he had done in the past. The word scum was not enough to describe him. The things he did were bad to the bone. He had done a lot of things to ruin people's families. Although it wasn't intentional murder, it was still indirect. Perhaps this really is retribution. What? You want to leave the hospital at this time? The attending doctor was very surprised to hear their request. In his condition, he can still survive in the hospital. It's hard to say what will happen once he leaves the hospital. I know, doctor. We'll bear all the consequences ourselves. All right then, please sign here. The doctor saw that they were very determined. After thinking for a while, he allowed them to leave the hospital. However, they would not be responsible for any accidents that happened to the patients after leaving the hospital. Chow Hui and Chow He signed the papers. They asked the doctor for medicine that could temporarily stabilize his condition. Then, they specially hired a car, a very comfortable car. They directly set off from Beijing and went straight to Lianshan County. What is Big Brother doing? Is he messing around? This time, Chow Meng only took Chow Hui and Chow He to Lianshan County. The other 4 people stayed in Beijing to take care of the other 3 people who were still in the hospital bed. Who knows? Could it be that he ran away? Ran away? Where could he go? Look at Big Brother's appearance. It's very likely that he won't make it. Those 2 people are his cronies. Could it be that he found a place to arrange his funeral and split the money by the way? You don't say. It's really possible. Then we'll go with him. The key is, where did Big Brother go? He must have gone back to his hometown. I've heard Big Brother say more than once that he wants to return to his hometown. Yes, he's back home. Then, what are we waiting for? Let's go back. Hurry up. If we're late, there will be nothing left. The 4 people rushed out of the hospital and took a car back to Chow Ming's hometown in Zhongyuan. As for the 3 patients who were still in the hospital bed and needed to be taken care of, no one had time to take care of them. They were not blood relatives. They were just a temporary team. Just let them fend for themselves. Where are the bedfellows? The nurse saw that the patients didn't even have a bedfellows. She frowned. They're all gone. Chow Zizhen sighed. Will I die here like this? He thought of his hometown, the dilapidated house, and his parents. He deserved it. The car sped on the road. Chow Meng lay on the seat without any strength in his body. Big Brother, hold on a little longer. Well, it's okay. I heard you. Chow Meng was already half dead in his current situation. They set off from Jing in the morning and arrived in Lianshan County at dark. They found a hotel to stay in. After a night, they arrived at the mountain village early and waited outside the clinic. It was very quiet in the mountain. Smoke curled up from the kitchen. After 8 p.m., Wang Yao came down from the mountain and saw the car parked outside the clinic. Dr. Wang. After seeing him, Chow Hui walked up to him. You're here? Yes, I'm here. Come in. The 2 people drove Chow Meng, who was no longer in a human shape, into the clinic. Have you thought about it? Yes, Chow Meng said weakly. Good. Wang Yao made a phone call to the police station in town. Plead guilty? The people who received the phone call were stunned. However, they soon sent people over. Tell me. What is this? They saw Chow Meng's appearance and were stunned. You have interrogated him, Wang Yao calmly said. How did he become like this? You have done too many bad things. Naturally, there will be retribution, Wang Yao said coldly. Tell me. Chow Meng weakly told Wang Yao what had happened. He told Wang Yao how they had received a call from a stranger and how they had planned to blackmail Wang Yao. Humph! Wang Yao snorted coldly. You're still not honest at this time. It was very difficult to expect these people to repent all of a sudden. Chow Meng was gasping for air. Wang Yao patted his abdomen a few times and gave him a bowl of medicine. This time, Chow Meng didn't vomit. He only felt that his abdomen was warm. He had suffered a lot in the past few days. After drinking the medicine, he felt very comfortable. What happened to the old man? Chow Meng's heart skipped a beat. There was no chance of luck. We were the ones who gave him the medicine. He decided to admit it. What medicine? It's a folk prescription. We really don't know the ingredient. Several policemen looked at each other after hearing this. Good heavens, this was suspected of murder. The nature of these things was completely different from what he had said before. You have to be responsible for what you just said, the police officer said seriously. What I said is the truth. I'm sure, Chow Meng said. Things had come to this point. He could either die in pain or live in humiliation. He chose the latter. The police officers couldn't make the decision. They immediately reported it. Soon, someone came to deal with the case. Due to the patient's condition, they only took a statement. It was almost time. Wang Yao removed the things he left in Chow Meng's body. At the same time, he opened the blocked meridians and acupoints. It sounded very complicated, but in fact, it only took a short time. Chow Meng let out a long sigh of relief. It was as if he had been pardoned. It was true. It was true. It would be a lie to say that he didn't hate, but he really didn't want to take revenge. He was about to face the disaster of being imprisoned. He didn't want to carry the hatred and other things to the people in the future. Chow Meng was hospitalized again. He was admitted to the People's Hospital in Lianshan County. This time it was different. There were special police officers guarding him because he was suspected of fraud and murder. The latter was a felony. I'll be like this for the rest of my life. What about you? Don't think about taking revenge for me. Chow Meng said to Chow Hui and Chow He. Find a good job and have a stable life. Perhaps it was the last time he found his conscience. Brother, you should rest first, Chow He said with a gloomy face. He had confessed. There were still 3 people outside. No, there were 7 people outside. They all had to be punished. Chapter 694. I'll think of a way to get those people to come here, Chow Meng said. Okay, this can be considered as redeeming yourself, the officer said. They realized that this could be a big case. This was a gang, and it was a gang that committed crimes across provinces. Chow He, you come here. Chow Meng told Chow He. He had been a leader for many years. He knew the temperament and character of his subordinate. He knew them very well. They should have gone to my hometown in Zhongyuan, Chow He said. Tell them that there is a mission here. Okay, Chow He said. Do you know the card in their hands? Yes. Send them 10,000 yuan. Yes. Chow He left to deal with this matter, leaving Chow He alone in the ward. Because of his special identity, this ward was specially prepared for him. His body had improved after Wang Yao's treatment. He could eat some liquid food and gradually gained strength. However, his spirit was still weak. It was as if he had lost his soul. When his body recovered, he would probably spend the rest of his life in prison. He knew what he had done. According to the law, it would not be too much to shoot him. He had confessed some things, but there were more that he did not confess. He was not a fool, nor did he completely repent. He had no choice but to lower his head when a knife was placed on his neck. Sigh. In the clinic, Dr. Wang, how did you do it? A policeman at the police station could not hold back his curiosity. Although the case had been handed over, he could not help but come over to ask after work. Of course, the most important thing was that he had a stiff neck when he was sleeping on the table at noon. Let those scumbags bow and admit their guilt. I heard that they have done a lot of bad things. Wang Yao only squeezed and rubbed it very simply. Then, the policeman miraculously felt that his neck did not hurt anymore. Wow, it's cured. It's cured. That's amazing. Thank you. How much is it? No need. Wang Yao waved his hand. Hey, you haven't told me what happened just now. How did you do it? I used virtue to convince people. I had a deep conversation with him and touched his soul. I made him realize his mistakes and repent. He decided to plead guilty and turn over a new leaf, Wang Yao said seriously. Ugh, I almost believed it. The policeman was stunned after listening. Haha, I didn't expect Dr. Wang to be so humorous. Thank you. Remember to call me if you need anything. Okay, don't sleep on the table at noon. Got it. The police officer left happily. Submit to the law and plead guilty. Wang Yao did not look at the detailed records, but he was certain that the man named Chao Meng would not reveal all of his wrongdoings and illegal activities. However, the things that he had admitted to were enough for him to spend the rest of his life in prison. It seemed that this matter would soon come to an end. Everything seemed to have returned to normal. Everything would be washed away by time. The weather gradually became hot. More and more people came to see the doctor. Someone had died here before, and the doctors in this clinic had killed someone before. This matter seemed to have been forgotten by everyone. Jing Shixiang and Jing Weijun left as well. Before leaving, they specially invited Wang Yao to a meal to express their gratitude. In the entire mountain village, only Wen Wan and Fan Yuan stayed for a long time to see the doctor. Hey, have they all left? Wen Wan sat in the yard and looked at the mountains not far away. You're almost done. The treatment effect of the intermittent ointment was very obvious and effective. Wen Wan's body was recovering faster and faster. She could feel that her body was getting more and more relaxed. She had stayed there for a long time. Her mentality was getting better and better. She already liked it here. Well, I'm almost done. When you had something, you didn't think it was good. You didn't know how to cherish it. You couldn't even feel it. Once you lost it, you would definitely regret it. For example, health. At this time, Wen Wan was very emotional. She was about to have health again. She realized that health was the most important thing. Everything in life was based on health. When you're better, I'll take you around. You don't have to be so tired, Fan Yuan said. Oh, okay. In Lianshan County, Chao he got out of the car with 4 strange guys. Hey, why here again? At this time, Big Brother still wants to take revenge on others? Revenge? Do you think it's going to be a handshake and peace? A handshake and peace? Based on Big Brother's character, he will shake hands and peace. When shaking hands, it's more likely that he will stab a knife. The few of them were chattering non-stop. Chao he didn't say anything either. He just walked in front of them expressionlessly. Hey, Xiao He, how old are you this year? 28. How about Hui? 26. Is Hui your girlfriend? No. Yeah. The 4 of them were excited and clapped to celebrate. After hearing that, Chao He stopped and turned to look at them. His eyes were calm. 4 fools. They still don't know what they are going to face, right? That's okay. We are going to go after Hui. You guys. Chao Hejing's expression finally changed. Why not? 4 idiots, stone stupid pigs, 4 toads. They actually wanted to have the meat of a swan. How dare they think about it? Ha! He laughed it off. This time, they came to Lianshan County. He was afraid that they would stay in prison for a while. Based on what they had done, the possibility of them coming out in 10 years was not big. Although they were harmless now, when they did bad things, they didn't even blink. They were definitely the kind of people who smiled on the surface and stabbed fiercely with the knife in their hand. He hated these people. He hated and rejected what Chao Meng had done. However, Chao Meng had actually given him and Chao Hui a new lease of life and changed their lives. Therefore, even if he knew that some things were wrong, he would still help Chow Meng. This was to repay the kindness. He had also tried to persuade all of them, but it was useless. These people were brought to a hotel by Chow He. Then, they were caught by the police who had been lying in ambush. Things happened so suddenly that they didn't have time to react. *T, what's going on? We are ambushed. Chow He, you bastard. They realized that this time, Chow He invited them here to cooperate with the police to catch all of them in one fell swoop. What happened to teamwork and never betray, abandon, or give up? Originally, they were planning to remain stubborn until the end and carry out the non-cooperation movement. However, when they saw Chow Meng and learned that their boss had taken the initiative to admit his mistakes, they were all dumbfounded. They immediately took the initiative to admit their mistakes, fearing that they would miss out on the leniency policy. The result of their actions was that they had said everything that should be said and should not be said. Moreover, there were some things that Chow Meng had not said before. What's going on? The police were also stunned. Good Lord, they had done so many bad things. After they came back to their senses, they immediately realized that this was an opportunity. They then cheated and asked all the bad things that they had done. They had illegally engaged in multi-level marketing, swindled, sold children, cheated women, and even cheated people of their life-saving money. These scumbags. The more the police listened, the more angry he became. Okay, calm down, the police officer said. In the clinic in the mountain village, they are here? They are here, and they have confessed, Chow Hui said. The things that Big Brother has done are much more than we know, the young woman said. Will you be implicated in anything? No, he has taken responsibility for everything, Chow Hui said. I have discussed with Chow He that we are going to turn ourselves in. Turn yourself in? What do you mean by turning yourself in? You just helped him deal with the accounts. You didn't know where the money came from in advance, right? Yes, we know part of it, Chow Hui said. The young woman came to talk to Wang Yao for a while and then left. When she left, the sun was setting. The sky was crimson. What a pity! Wang Yao sighed. Chapter 695. To be honest, the two young people, Chow He and Chow Hui, were rare talent. They had experienced poverty when they were very young and knew that life was not easy. They also cultivated their perseverance. Unfortunately, they followed the wrong person. It was a great regret in life. They married the wrong man, entered the wrong industry, and followed the wrong boss. In the ward. Alas. Chow Meng sighed. He already knew that his accomplice had been arrested, and he also knew that they had confessed something that he hadn't confessed. It was true that one was not afraid of a godlike opponent, but a pig-like teammate. He had been cheated. At this point, he had no other way. He had failed. He admitted it. The criminal pleaded guilty and the case was closed. The only disappointment was that the employer behind it had not been found out. He had also given the other three people a certain degree of treatment, and their lives were no longer in danger. They had received the punishment they deserved. After learning the final verdict, Wang Yao still felt sorry for Chow He and Chow Hui. This matter was over, and there was a new beginning in the mountain village. After learning and asking, Wang Ziqing began to plant medicinal herbs. He chose the commonly used medicinal herbs Solomon's seal and gentian grass, and planted some radix parvifolium and licorice on the hillside. He was not acting alone. There was another person in the village who had also begun to plant medicinal herbs. It was Wang Yao, an honest man in the village. Unlike Wang Ziqing, he took the initiative to find Wang Yao. He had such an idea for a long time, but he felt that doing so might rob Wang Yao's business, so he had not done it. When he went up the mountain that day, he happened to see Wang Ziqing tidying up the land. After chatting for a while, he learned that Wang Ziqing was going to plant medicinal herbs. It was Wang Yao who took the initiative to tell him, so he went to find Wang Yao. This is a good thing, uncle. You just need to plan. If you don't understand, you can ask me. You don't have to worry about sales, Wang Yao said. He admired the honest elders in the village very much. When he heard about this matter, he naturally wanted to fully support it. That's good, Wang Fengming said with a smile. He went back to prepare and began to act. He couldn't go to the West Mountain. These were Wang Yao's words. Of course, even if he didn't say it, these two people wouldn't go there. Now in the mountain village, the West Mountain was a forbidden area. Usually, no one would go up the mountain. It was already the end of June and the weather was getting hotter. The temperature had exceeded 30 degrees Celsius for several consecutive days, with the highest temperature reaching 37 degrees Celsius. There were many trees in the mountain village, and they were surrounded by mountains. Therefore, the small environment was relatively good. It was cooler here than in the town and the city. Even so, most of the villagers who had changed their houses in the city had moved away. This also meant that this mountain village was actually half empty. What's so good about the city? The old people in the village leaned against the trees and chatted. Sure. Living in a high-rise building with heating and convenient shopping. How many young people nowadays are willing to live in a village? Yeah, if you don't buy a house or a car, you won't even be able to find a partner. This village is half empty. In the future, there will only be old people like us who are half buried in the ground left. Well, there are still a few young people, the old man said. Isn't Yao from Fenghua's family still here? I think he is the only promising one in the village. What's so promising about him? The patient has died. In the village, there were people who liked him and people who didn't. I heard that the patient was deliberately framed. They wanted to blackmail him. The court has sentenced him. Those people are not locals. It's not the first time they have done this kind of thing. While these old people were talking, someone drove into the mountain village. Someone has come to see the doctor again. A license plate from another place? The car stopped outside the clinic. Zheng Weijun got out of the car and entered the clinic. The procedures for the pharmaceutical company in the city went smoothly. The preliminary project approval and factory construction procedures were approved. This also reflected the power of this family. At the very least, in this field, in the country, they were one of the top few existences. Sir, the next step is to build the factory, Zheng Weijun said. Regarding the location of the factory, Lianshan County provided them with several places. In the end, they chose 2 places. One was closer to the county town, and the other was closer to the mountain village. In fact, it was in the town. The final location had not been decided yet. Sir, do you have time to go and have a look? Okay. When are you free? In the afternoon. Okay, let's go and have a look in the afternoon. After setting the time, Wang Yao also timely issued a notice on Weibo. The clinic would be closed in the afternoon. At noon, Wang Yao invited Zheng Weijun to have a meal. This time, Zheng Weijun only brought a driver and 2 bodyguards. Zheng Shixiang did not accompany him. During the meal, Wang Yao wanted to invite them, but they refused. Sir, I also asked a feng shui master from the south to help us look at the 2 pieces of land, Zheng Weijun said during the meal. Feng shui. Yes, you may not know, Zheng Weijun said. In fact, we actually believe in this. The location of a new factory needs to be checked by a feng shui master. This is a convention. It is good luck, and it is indeed useful. He had to believe in this thing. At least, he knew several people and several large enterprises had problems because of this. Feng shui, did they need to ask an outsider? Wang Yao smiled after hearing that, but he did not say anything. Okay, will he also come today? Zheng Weijun asked. He has something else to do. He is on his way. He will probably arrive around 3 p.m. Let him have a look at the land. Okay. Wang Yao also wanted to meet this master. So far, he had only met a few geomancers and geomancers. Strictly speaking, Miao Sanding was the only one who knew geomancers. After the meal and a rest, he and Jing Weijun got in the car and went to the place in the town first. The place was close to the newly expanded provincial road, so the transportation was convenient. The terrain was open, which was suitable for building a factory. "Let's get out of the car and have a look," Wang Yao said. "Okay." The car stopped at the side of the road. They got out of the car. There were still crops growing there. As soon as the land was settled, the county would come out to coordinate the land use issue. There were roads on the east and south side. There was a hill on the west side. It was not high. There were many trees on the hill. There was a forest on the north side. Wang Yao looked around. "Well, this place is not bad. Let's go and have a look." "Okay." They went to the county town by car. The area was in the corner of the industrial park in the north of the city. It was very flat. There were only a few low temporary sheds and some messy things. They could be cleaned up a little. There were roads in the east, west, north, and south. The transportation was more convenient. "What do you think of this place?" Jing Weijun asked. He was actually more optimistic about this place because the transportation was more convenient. It was in the county town, which meant it was easier to recruit workers. The key problem was that it was industrial land, not arable land. There might be fewer disputes involved. "Let's go in and have a look." There was no obstruction in the deserted land. They went inside. Wang Yao looked around and walked. "I don't like it here," he said. "Well, why?" Jing Weijun asked. "There is a battery processing factory over there." He pointed to a factory in the north. "This factory is very polluted. The groundwater nearby is polluted," Wang Yao said. This factory was relatively famous in Lianshan County. When it was first introduced, it was reported on the TV for several days. It was indeed prosperous in the first 2 years. However, some problems gradually emerged. It was lead-acid batteries and a highly polluting enterprise. It was precisely because of this that some places rejected its application to settle down and build factories. Only the industry in Lianshan County was not developed. At that time, the leaders also attracted it for political achievement. Now, with the increase of environmental protection, its problems were all exposed. The method of exchanging pollution for economic development was definitely not desirable. There, the tire factory. Wang Yao then pointed to a larger factory next to it. "Highly polluting?" Jing Weijun asked. "The pollution is just one aspect. This company was very active when it was built. It claimed to have invested more than 1 billion yuan. As far as I know, they are now in debt. They are robbing Peter to pay Paul. The company can't survive." Chapter 696. The company was very famous in Lianshan County. At first, it was large-scale, which attracted many people to sign up. Then, it was a mess. They could not even pay their workers. Many people went to the relevant departments to sue them for arrears of wages. Now, they were completely relying on bank loans to survive. "Is that so?" Jing Weijun frowned after hearing that. At that moment, one of his bodyguards came over and whispered a few words beside him. "Okay, tell him to come over." "Sir, the master is here." "Oh, I'd like to see him," Wang Yao said with a smile. In less than 10 minutes, a high-end car drove over and stopped on the side of the road. A man in his 40s got out of the car. He was wearing a tang suit and had taken good care of himself. "Let me introduce you. This is Dr. Wang, and this is Master Su." "Hello." "Hello." The two of them looked at each other a few times. Their hands shook slightly and then they let go. "Master Su, this is the piece of land we chose. Can you take a look at it?" "Okay." The master took out a compass from the bag he carried with him. He first walked around the piece of land for a long time. He walked and stopped. Then, he entered the abandoned land. "Well, not bad. This is a prosperous piece of land." "Prosperous?" Wang Yao was stunned. In his opinion, this place was not suitable for building a factory. He was very curious and wanted to hear what the master had to say. The land here is flat and the wind is smooth. It is exclusive to the high ground. I used the compass to guide this place. It is excellent. Then, the master said a series of watershed terminology. He seemed very professional. He was able to connect it with Zheng Weijuan's birth characters. This also made Wang Yao a little amazed. Not to mention other things, the eloquence was not something ordinary people had. Suddenly, 9 out of 10 people would believe it. This was a typical example of an expert fooling an amateur. Sir? Zheng Weijun asked Wang Yao softly. No matter what Master Su said, he felt that in the end, this matter still had to be decided by Wang Yao. Let's go to another place to have a look. Okay, Master, let's go to another place to have a look. Alright. It didn't take long for the 3 people and 2 cars to arrive at the place where the crops were still planted. Here? The master saw the same operation. No, the feng shui here is not good. Why not? The qi flow here is not smooth. Look at that hill. He pointed at a hill not far away that was full of trees. It's in the way of wealth, and the road to wealth is blocked. Moreover, the terrain here is high in the east and low in the west. Look, there's a crack in the middle. Master Su stretched out his hand and pointed. There was indeed a gully in the middle of the land, but it wasn't obvious. Based on my knowledge, this is a dilapidated place. You can't do business here, nor can you live here. I think the crops are growing well. Wang Yao pointed at the crops in the field. This is different, Master Su said without hesitation. I understand. Thank you, Master. Yes. Master Su nodded. He was neither arrogant nor impatient. He had the demeanor of an expert. Sir, what do you think? Zheng Weijun asked. He respected Wang Yao's opinion on where to go. Do you really want to hear it? Of course, I want to hear it. I think it's good here. Wang Yao pointed to a piece of land next to him. Well, I see, Zheng Weijun said. Zheng Weijun said. Since he wanted to settle here, he would settle here. It was just a small pharmaceutical company. Then it's settled. Don't you want to hear the reason? Wang Yao asked with a smile. The decision was made so quickly. This meant that Grandmaster Su had made a wasted trip. Fortunately, the other party was not by his side. Otherwise, who knew how angry he would be? Sir, please tell me, Wang Yao said. The qi flow here is smooth. Earth, wood, and water. Wang Yao pointed to the hill and then to a river not far away. In my opinion, the hill is indispensable. This place can absorb qi. Wang Yao's words were easy to understand. Sir, you know feng shui? Zheng Weijun was surprised. I know a little, Wang Yao said with a smile. Zheng Weijun knew his temperament. When he heard that these were polite words, it meant that he probably had extremely high attainments in this line of work. If he only knew a little, then those who truly understood were probably as rare as phoenix feathers and qilin horns. In fact, Wang Yao really only knew a little. Just like the piece of land we saw near Lianshan County, the qi flow is not smooth. Now, Wang Yao didn't need to do that at all. He could feel the qi dynamic just by standing there. After all, with his current cultivation, he could communicate with heaven and earth. Ordinary people couldn't compare with his perception of this kind of illusory thing. By the way, Master Su's appearance fee is not low, right? Wang Yao asked curiously. Fortunately, this is the price. Zheng Weijun stretched out his palm. 50,000? Just walk around and have a look? Wang Yao was surprised. The price is not high. Sir thinks it is expensive. This is the price for an acquaintance. Ordinary people can't invite him with this price. TSK, TSK, TSK. It's too easy to make money. Zheng Weijun just smiled and thought, it's easier to make money if your decoction is not tens of thousands or even higher. Of course, he also knew that the two were not the same. Money was just a worldly possession. Health was one's own. Sir, are you free tonight? Would you like to have dinner together? Okay. In the evening, they had dinner together. During the dinner, Zheng Weijun asked Master Su a few questions, all of which were about feng shui. Master Su also knows fortune-telling? Wang Yao was very curious. A little, Master Su said. He really knows. Can I have a look? You? Master Su thought for a moment and then looked up at Wang Yao. In fact, when they first met, he had carefully observed this young man. The main reason was because of Zheng Weijun's attitude. He knew the identity and background of this young man from the Jing family. He was definitely extraordinary and looked down on ordinary people. However, Zheng Weijun was very respectful to Dr. Wang. He kept calling Dr. Wang Mr., which was not an ordinary address. After taking a closer look, Zheng Weijun did not feel anything at first. He just looked handsome. However, after taking a closer look, he found something unusual. Master Su was not called a master for nothing. He could have such a high reputation in this field not simply by bluffing, but by real talent. He majored in feng shui. He also knew about physiognomy and fortune-telling. These were all the same. They could not be separated into only one. He had read many people's faces and fortunes. In fact, everyone's face was different. 100 people would have 100 different faces. However, there were rules to be found. One of them was that no one's face was perfect. In terms of numerology, it was like this. Either one had a long life but no wealth, or one was rich and powerful but had unfilial children. Out of 1,000,000 people, there was probably not one who was perfect. However, he could not see anything wrong with this young man's face. His face was like a crown of jade. His facial features, eyebrows, hair, and even deeper down his bones, there was nothing wrong with it. This was very strange. This Dr. Wang's physiognomy is extremely noble, he said after looking at Wang Yao for a while. Oh, thank you, Wang Yao said with a smile. Let me ask you something. Is Dr. Wang a practitioner? Master Su asked. A practitioner? What does a master mean? It's like Taoist Qi training and Buddhist meditation, Master Su said. These are all practitioners. In that case, I am a practitioner, Wang Yao said. He was also on the path of Qi training. No wonder. How is it strange? People who practice Qi can't be judged by their faces. Master Su then talked about some knowledge of fortune-telling. It was purely of a casual nature. He usually did not talk about such things. I didn't expect Dr. Wang to be a rare practitioner at such a young age. He just read a few Taoist scriptures. After dinner, Zheng Weijun arranged for someone to send Master Su away. As for him, he stayed behind. Sir, in fact, Master Su is quite capable. A few years ago, he predicted that I would be in trouble. He came here to save me. Is he that amazing? Zheng Weijun asked. Now that I think about it, it is quite amazing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to work with him for so long. The location of the factory was chosen. The next thing was easy. Chapter 697. Zheng Weijun and Sun Yunxing, or the companies behind them, would take care of the rest. In the evening, Wang Yao and Zheng Weijun talked for a while. They mainly talked about some of his ideas about the pharmaceutical company. In terms of business management, he was certainly not as good as Zheng Weijun, but in terms of pharmaceutical manufacturing, he was good at it. His idea was very simple. The pharmaceutical company would only prepare Chinese medicine and would not be involved in the processing of Western medicine. Zheng Weijun had no objection to this. As for the prescription, it was naturally provided by him. How many prescriptions can you provide? 6 or 7, Wang Yao said after thinking for a moment. These prescriptions were not suitable for licorice root. So many? Zheng Weijun asked. Many. Wang Yao was stunned. Many, Zheng Weijun said. You may not know much about the pharmaceutical industry. In fact, pharmaceutical companies don't make all kinds of medicine. Different medicines may need different equipment. Secondly, the production of these medicines needs technical authorization. Generally, companies mainly make a few kinds of medicines and count on these few kinds of medicines to make a profit. Zheng Weijun explained that the relevant patent protection in the country was not particularly in place. If it was overseas, some drugs would not be able to be produced at all. I mean, we can launch a main medicine first. As long as the treatment effect is good and the market recognizes, we can launch other medicines. Well, that's good, Wang Yao said. Think about it. Which prescription is more suitable to be the first one? Okay. It was past 9 p.m. when Wang Yao returned to the mountain village. After returning home, he said hello to his parents so that they would not worry. Then, he went to Nanshan Hill. The next day, in the morning, some people suddenly came to the village with some instrument. They were measuring and drawing, and it took them a whole day's work. What are you doing? Someone in the village asked curiously. Nothing, just surveying and mapping, the young man said. Surveying and mapping? In the evening, Wang Yao heard his father talk about this matter. Maybe they are doing some data collection? On the third day, these people came again. This time, they went to Dongshan Hill. It took them a whole day again. Strange? The villagers were very curious. This village looks pretty good to me. What a pity. Hey, we're only in charge of work. Why do we care so much? Besides, this isn't our home. Wang Yao was sorting out the prescriptions in the clinic. He was thinking about which medicine to launch first. He had applied for patents for these prescriptions through formal channels. Hey, there are so many trees on that mountain. A few surveyors working on the east mountain pointed at the south mountain in the distance. There were also trees on Dongshan Mountain and Shishan Mountain, but more than half of them were terraced fields, unlike Nanshan Mountain, which was mainly covered with trees. Let's go and have a look. They had to survey the area sooner or later, so they went straight to Nanshan Hill. However, at the junction of the mountains, there were rows of trees blocking the way. These trees were like walls, and they were densely planted. These trees have a very regular pattern. It took them a lot of effort to get through. What kind of trees are these? Hey, there are grapes here. A man pointed at a wild grape. What's the result? Do you dare to eat? Are you all right? Try it. A bold young man picked a grape and tasted it. It's sweet. Are the grapes ripe at this time? It was reasonable to say that the grapes would not be ripe at this time in this place. It would take at least a month to ripen. However, the spirit on Nanshan Hill was abundant. The growth of these plants could not be judged by common sense. Well, let's survey the area first. Several people started to work again. Hey, there seems to be a house there. A man found a hut hidden in the trees. Woof! Then there was a loud roar. There's a dog. What kind of dog is it? Why is it so loud? Then they saw a big dog that they would never forget. God, is it a Tibetan Mastiff? A Tibetan Mastiff? I think it's a lion. How can a dog be so big? As soon as the dog stood there, the faces of several people changed greatly. If it takes a bite, it'll be terrible. Don't move. Slowly back away. The few of them slowly retreated, and the dog followed them unhurriedly. It was not until they had left and were pushed behind the trees that the dog stopped. Whoosh, whoosh. Several people were scared and broke out in a cold sweat. How can there be such a big dog on this mountain? Boss, shall we continue? Of course, we have to continue. The data collection has not been completed yet. I'm not going. That dog is too scary. Wait for me to communicate with the village. Whose dog is that? I'll ask him to restrain it. They went down the mountain and found the village secretary, Wang Jianli. What survey? What for? This is our certificate, the leader said. It's mainly to collect terrain data. Nanshan Hill has been contracted. Outsiders are not allowed to enter, Wang Jianli said. We just collect some data. It won't take long. I'll ask. Wang Jianli called Wang Yao. No. This was Wang Yao's reply. Why? What do you mean why? Wang Jianli asked. They don't want you to go up. Don't we have satellites now? What on-site survey? He was a little disgusted with these people. They had been wandering in the village for several days, but they had never said hello to him. Now, they came to him when they were in trouble. What did you do earlier? Go away. That's not suitable. Don't we have drones now? You can try that. I personally suggest it. You comrade. Alright boss, calm down. Let's withdraw first. Withdraw first. Several people came out of the village branch. What do you think of this person? A small village secretary is so arrogant. Boss, we are actually in the wrong. Think about it. We have been wandering in the village for several days, and no one has said hello to us. Didn't the higher-ups say that they had already said hello to the village? I think it's going to be difficult. These bastards. What should we do? Talk to the higher-ups? The higher-ups will definitely not make things worse. Don't we have drones? Let's use drones. They went back. In the evening, Wang Jianli went to Wang Yao's home and told him what had happened. They went up to Nanshan Hill? Yes, they were driven out by your big watchdog. Wang Jianli took the cigarette from Wang Yao. Wang Yao was silent for a moment. Uncle, what are they going to do? I don't know. They just said they want to survey and collect terrain data. Collect terrain data? Wang Yao had a bad feeling. Wang Jianli stayed at his home for more than 20 minutes. He talked with the father and son about a lot of things. In Wang Yao's impression, the village secretary did not seem to be so talkative. A day later, those people came again. This time, they really brought a drone. It's much more convenient with this thing. Be careful. It's not easy to apply for this. I know. It's not the first time I've used it. The drone took off. The operators underground began to record the data. Hey, why does it feel a little strange here? When the drone flew over Nanshan Hill, it felt a little blurry. The signal sent back was not very stable. Let's have a look at the lower point. Woof, woof, woof. There was a barking sound from the mountain. It's the big dog. What are you afraid of? The dog can't fly. Yes. Squawk. There was a cry. What is it? Whoosh. The connection between them and the drone was cut off. Well, what's going on? It's destroyed. It's destroyed. What's destroyed? Nonsense, of course, the drone is destroyed. They looked at each other. They were all dumbfounded. How could this be? Hurry up, go and get the equipment back. Don't be ridiculous. There is a big dog on the mountain. They had no choice but to go down the mountain and ask the village secretary for help. You really used a drone. Wang Jianli was speechless. Yes, Secretary Wang, look, this is a piece of government equipment. It fell on the mountain. Can you help us get it back? Chapter 698. Wang Jianli sighed. He had no choice but to take them to the clinic. Did he fall? Yes. Okay. Wang Yao had just finished seeing a patient and had nothing to do. They went to the foot of the hill. Okay, you guys wait here, Wang Yao said. Why can't we go up together? Will you let strangers enter your house? But this is just a hill. This is my hill, Wang Yao said coldly. They were stunned. Wang Yao walked into the narrow path in the forest and went up Nanshan Hill. His hill? *T. What are you talking about? When Wang Yao went up the hill, he saw San Xian come to him with something in his mouth. Did you bring this down? Wang Yao asked curiously. Woof, woof. San Xian barked a few times at the sky. Do you mean Xia? Woof. What a coincidence. Wang Yao smiled. Whether on the ground or in the sky, San Xian was his capable guard. Well done. Thank you. Wang Yao patted San Xian's head with a smile. As for this thing, he looked at the drone in his hand. At the foot of the hill, the people were a little impatient. No, why hasn't he come down yet? He's probably looking for it on the hill. Don't worry. What do you think he has on the hill that he doesn't let outsiders go up? It must be valuable. Maybe it's wild ginseng or precious flowers and trees. They waited for nearly an hour at the foot of the hill before they saw Wang Yao come down with a drone in his hand. Is this the drone you were talking about? He handed the drone in his hand to them. How did it become like this? The leader took the drone and was stunned. The drone had been smashed into pieces. It was of no value to Xiao. I picked it up on a rock at the foot of the hill, Wang Yao said. Maybe it fell from the sky and landed on a rock, so it was badly damaged. Oh, thank you. They went down the mountain dejectedly. How are we going to explain this to the higher-ups? This thing isn't cheap. But it's tens of thousands. They won't deduct our pay, right? Their faces were covered in dust. From that day on, they never came again. In fact, the aircraft was not that badly damaged. Wang Yao spent some time on the mountain to study it. Then, he crushed it. The main parts of the aircraft were broken into pieces and could not be repaired at all. He was also afraid that the aircraft would take pictures of some things on Nanshan Hill and leak them to the outside world. After these people went back, they still held a little bit of hope and went to the maintenance staff to have a look. Are you sure it fell from the sky and was not run over by a car? Yes. There's no saving it. It's completely ruined. Ah! It's over, it's over. It was inevitable that they would be reprimanded. It's all the higher-ups' fault. Why are they doing surveying for no reason? That day the weather was very hot. At noon, the temperature was as high as 38 degrees Celsius. Even in the mountain village, one could feel the heat. Sun Yunxing came to the mountain village. He was in a hurry. He went directly to the clinic to see Wang Yao. What's the matter? Sir, look at this. He brought a map of the highway plan. Weihai Highway? Wang Yao knew this. It had been under construction for a long time. Yes, the highway connecting Haik and Wei has been proved. The relevant departments have approved it. It is under construction. Look here. He pointed at a point. What is this? Wang Yao was shocked. The highway passed through the east of the mountain village. It seemed to pass through Nanshan Hill. It was clear what it meant. When the road was under construction, the houses had to be demolished if there were obstacles. The mountain had to be leveled or cut through. This road must not pass through the mountain village. Wang Yao said. It's strange. Didn't they inspect the site when the road was planned? Yes, and they took some mapping in advance. It was convenient for the construction in the future and the construction budget was issued. Wang Yao suddenly understood why those people stayed in the mountain village for mapping a few days ago. It was for this road. He was careless at that time. It shouldn't be like this originally, right? Wang Yao asked. If it was going to pass through their village, it would have been planned a long time ago. After all, it involved the occupation of farmland and compensation. Someone had already come to deal with these matters. Moreover, the whole village would be in an uproar. This must have happened recently. I have asked. The plan was not like this at the beginning. It has been changed recently. It was originally going to pass through here. Sun Yunxing drew a simple line on the map. The current plan is a little more detour than the original plan. It seems to be specially designed for this mountain village, right? Wang Yao continued. Yes, I feel that is the meaning. Which department did the planning? In theory, the construction of the highway needs to be approved by the provincial government and filed at a higher level. The planning is naturally done by the relevant departments in the province. Can it be changed? I have asked about this. It is very difficult. My people are communicating with them, Sun Yunxing said. Although the Sun family was said to be a big family with a wide range of connections in the Qi province, it was very difficult to influence the overall planning of such a highway. One had to know that this was a project with an investment of several billion yuan or even more. The change this time was very sudden. If it was changed again, it might delay the construction period. The highway was scheduled to open before May 1st next year. What is the reason for these changes? A lot of underground water was found underground in the original design of the road, and it is connected to a reservoir nearby. It is very difficult to build, so the plan was changed immediately, Sun Yunxing said. Does this reason make sense? Wang Yao was not good at construction, but Sun Yunxing knew more or less. His family was also in the real estate business. Nonsense, with the current level of technology, it is not a problem to build a cross-sea bridge. A little underground water is nothing. It is pure nonsense to protect the underground water. As long as you pay attention to the infrastructure, the pollution to the environment is very small. I will have to trouble you to do this, Wang Yao said. Sir, don't worry. I will do my best. If it costs money, I will pay. You must inform me in time. This must be confirmed. Okay. Sun Yunxing thought for a moment and said, Sir, I will try to use my family's connections to change this matter. Sir, you also have to think of countermeasures early. I think someone will soon discuss the compensation for the land. I see. Sun Yunxing also inadvertently heard the news at the recent banquet. He asked someone to get the changed plan and came directly to Wang Yao. Tut! After Sun Yunxing left, Wang Yao was thinking about this matter. Why did such a sudden change happen? He had to think about it. What he needed to do now was to prevent the road from going through the village. Who should I find? After thinking about it, he decided to go to Hike to find Yang Haichuan, the current boss of Hike, whom he had met several times. He called Yang Haichuan again. After a call, Yang Haichuan hung up. After waiting for more than an hour, Yang Haichuan called back. Sorry, Dr. Wang, I was in a meeting just now. What's the matter? Wang Yao made an appointment with Yang Haichuan. Early the next morning, Wang Yao drove out of the mountain village and went straight to Hike. Yang Haichuan met him in a private capacity. When he heard the reason for Wang Yao's visit, he was surprised. I know about this change, Wang Yao said. Of course, such a thing was reported to him. He just said it was a very small change. He did not ask about the specific plan. It will go through your village? Yes. Wait a minute. Yang Haichuan made a phone call in front of him. It is the provincial department that proposed the change, not Wei and Hike. Can we not go through the mountain village? This is very difficult, Yang Haichuan said. It was not that he did not want to help, but it was really difficult for him to do it in his current position. A big boss in the city wanted to change the plan of a road in person. It needed a good reason. Chapter 699. He was not the highest-ranking official in the city. He had the final say in everything. Unless there was a very good reason, it was not easy for him to intervene in this matter. Wang Yao understood what he was trying to say. Dr. Wang, are you not satisfied with the compensation? Oh, it's not that, Wang Yao said. I just think this plan is too sudden, as if it is specifically targeted at the village. I have been operating Nanshan Hill for several years and poured my heart and soul into it. I really don't want it to be destroyed because of such a thing. I'll think of other ways to deal with this matter, Yang Haichuan said. He originally thought Wang Yao was not satisfied with the compensation. He did not expect it to be because of such a reason. Thank you, Secretary Yang. Before Wang Yao came, he did not expect Yang Haichuan to help him solve this matter. After all, his identity was there. It was already very rare for him to be willing to say such a thing. Why don't you stay for lunch? No, I still have something to do. I have to go back. Take care. After leaving Yang Haichuan's place, Wang Yao drove back to Lianshan County and found the highway that was under construction. It seemed that there was still a considerable distance to the mountain village. There was still plenty of time left for him. After returning home, he heard his parents talk about the road that had to pass through the village. "Who told you that?" "The secretary came to our house today. The road has to pass through the hillside in the east and Nanshan Hill. He said that someone will come to measure the land and take photos soon. It's mainly about the compensation," Zhang Xiuying said. "So soon?" "Mom, you and Dad don't have to worry about this," Wang Yao said. "I'll take care of it." "Oh, okay." As a mother, she naturally knew that her son poured energy and effort into that mountain. She did not know why a good road would cost so much. Their village was surrounded by mountains on all sides. If they wanted to pass through Nanshan, they would have to pass through Beishan. Beishan was a stone mountain. If they wanted to pave a road through it, they would have to spend a lot of money. That afternoon, Wang Mingbao came back from the county town. He went to the clinic to find Wang Yao. At that time, he was giving acupuncture to a patient. "Wait a moment. Pour yourself some tea." "Okay, go ahead," Wang Mingbao said. He then made a cup of tea and waited at the side. Half an hour later, there were no more patients in the clinic. "What's the matter?" Wang Yao asked as he washed his hands. "The new Weihai Expressway is going to pass through our village and Nanshan?" "Yes, I just found out about it not long ago," Wang Yao said. "Isn't this nonsense?" Wang Mingbao said angrily. He had come specifically for this matter. "It's indeed very nonsensical. TSK, what are you going to do about this?" "I'm trying to think of a way. I've asked my friend. If we want to change the plan, the city government has no say." He knew about the relationship between Wang Yao and Yang Haichuan. It's not that it doesn't count, but it can't be changed without sufficient reasons. In fact, if there was a suitable reason, Yang Haichuan could also intervene. After all, the construction of such a road would definitely have to consider the local opinions. The key problem was that there was no suitable reason now. The subordinates needed to report to their superiors carefully, in detail, and adequately. The superiors only needed a sentence and a document to do things. To a large extent, this was the case. Wang Mingbao gulped down 2 mouthfuls of tea. He really couldn't help much in this matter. There was no other way. The level involved was too high. "Didn't you ask Xiaoxue?" Relatively few people knew about the matter between Wang Yao and Su Xiaoxue. Wang Mingbao was one of them. After all, the two of them were close friends. "Not yet," Wang Yao said. "She's still in school. What should be said to her still needs to be said," Wang Mingbao said. "In short, it's troublesome for us to do it, but not for them." Okay. The two of them talked in the clinic for a while. Then, another patient came in. "You go ahead with your work. We'll talk in the evening." In the evening, they booked a small private room in a restaurant in the village. "I've asked someone to inquire about it. This is a last-minute change, so additional subsidies need to be provided," Wang Mingbao said. "There are some people who are dissatisfied with the sudden change outside of the plan." "This matter may have something to do with me," Wang Yao said. "It has something to do with you? Who did you provoke to be so capable?" Wang Mingbao was surprised. "He does have the ability, but I didn't expect him to do this. He dares to do this. Does his father not care about him?" "Who is his father?" "Guo Zhaojun." "Well, this name sounds familiar," Wang Mingbao suddenly shouted. "Damn, it's the governor. Wasn't it familiar? He was the second in command in the province. It was said that he was very likely to replace the secretary who was about to be transferred and become the most important person in the province. Did you provoke his son? How should I put it? He seems to like Xiaoxue very much. He asked me to give up, but I didn't agree. **T. Wang Mingbao said angrily. "Who does he think he is?" "I think so too," Wang Yao said. He is fine, but his father is very troublesome. Maybe his father doesn't know about this matter, Wang Yao said. He is just using his father's name. People like him should be more protective of their own feathers. You mean, you want me to go to his father and tell him that his son is doing these dirty things? Do you think it is so easy for a small citizen like me to see the high and mighty governor? Besides, if you bully people outside or do something illegal, what will your father do when he knows? At most, he will scold you, but he will never hand you over to the police, right? Wang Yao said. I have to find a way to clean up your mess. No matter how much he cherished his own feathers, this was his biological son after all. He only had one son. It was human nature to help one's relatives and not reason. It was understandable. Moreover, Wang Yao didn't have any evidence to prove that he did this. Ah, okay. Drink. Drink. The two of them didn't leave until nearly 9 p.m. Wang Yao said goodbye to his family and went up to Nanshan Hill. In the evening, Wang Yao wanted to call Su Xiaoxue. He didn't expect that she would call him as soon as he went up the hill. Have you eaten? What did you eat? Where did you eat? How did you learn? Are you tired? She asked about the usual things. Wang Yao's voice was very soft. It was as if the fairy-like woman was in front of him. Listening to her voice, these troubles were temporarily put aside. Su Xiaoxue was very happy on the other end of the phone. I don't want to tell her about this matter, Wang Yao thought. He was going to use another channel. In Jing, at the Wu family's house, the two of them chatted for a long time before hanging up the phone. The next day, on Saturday, there were more people in the clinic. Recently, for some reason, there were more people with diarrhea, and most of them were children. Most of them were foreign invaders. Wang Yao's medicine was simple. It drove away the evil and stopped diarrhea. Basically, the effect was seen in a day. That day, he was busy for a long time. It wasn't until 5 p.m. that the last patient was sent away. Just as he was cleaning the clinic, he heard the outside door open again. Someone came again. It was a faint fragrance. Why are you here? Wang Yao was surprised. At that time, she had not yet arrived in front of him. There was still a wall and a door between them. After entering the door, Su Xiaoxue was surprised. How did you know I was here? I smelled it. Wang Yao smiled. Don't you have classes today? Wang Yao asked. No, I miss you, so I came, Su Xiaoxue said. Wang Yao was stunned for a moment, then he opened his arms and pulled her into his arms. TSK, TSK, TSK. This young lady is too capricious. Outside, Chu Lian shook her head. She suddenly remembered that there were no classes. Then, she asked for 2 days of leave from the school and came over. There were 3 people in her mother's family who were teaching at Yanjing University. Moreover, one of them was already the dean. With this layer of relationship there, what else could people say? They just turned a blind eye. When Wang Yao brought Su Xiaoxue home, his parents were very happy, especially his mother. She was busy cooking a lot of dishes. During dinner, she kept asking Su Xiaoxue to eat more. After dinner, the two of them took a walk around the mountain village hand in hand. By the way, are the patients who lived in the village still here? Su Xiaoxue asked. 2 of them have recovered. There's still 1 person left. It feels like there are a lot fewer people at night than last time. Standing at the south end of the village, he could see that many houses in the village were not lit. They all moved to Lianshan County. What a capricious thing. Chapter 700. Oh, by the way, the location of the pharmaceutical company has been chosen, Su Xiaoxue said. Really? Has the application been approved? It's still being processed. It should be done soon. The two of them walked around the village twice before returning to Su Xiaoxue's house. Chu Lian had already prepared everything. Dr. Wang. Hello, Auntie Lian, Su Xiaoxue said. After chatting with Su Xiaoxue for a while, Wang Yao went out to Nanshan Hill. Miss, do you want to rest early? Okay, Su Xiaoxue said. Su Xiaoxue and Su Xiaoxue spent most of the 2 days traveling to and from Nanshan Hill. The time they spent together was actually very short. At night, the village was very quiet. Sometimes, when one was familiar with a noisy environment, it was difficult to fall asleep when it was too quiet. Su Xiaoxue lay on the Kong and thought about a lot of things. She didn't fall asleep until 11 p.m. The next day, she got up very early. She put on her clothes and went up Nanshan Hill along the mountain path. Wang Yao waited at the foot of Nanshan Hill. The two of them went up the hill together. This hill is so nice, Su Xiaoxue exclaimed in the herbal field. You can come here often if you like, Wang Yao said. Do I need to pay special attention to taking care of these herbs? Su Xiaoxue asked as she pointed at the herbs in the herbal field. There's nothing special to pay attention to. Try not to touch them, Wang Yao said. Why? Su Xiaoxue asked. Just let them grow naturally, Wang Yao said. Some of the herbs are poisonous. Can you teach me Kung Fu again? Sure, Su Xiaoxue said. Let's go up the hill, Wang Yao said. Wang Yao usually rested on the hill. There was a relatively flat area on the top of the hill. It was about 20 square meters. He had planted several trees there. Even at the hottest time of the day, under the shade of the trees, it wouldn't be too hot. Come on. Wang Yao taught her the most basic things, such as basic movements and methods of exerting force. He didn't teach her how to coordinate the movements with the neishi in the body. Practicing Kung Fu couldn't be rushed. It had to be done step by step. Have you learned Kung Fu except for what I taught you before? I learned from Auntie Lien, Su Xiaoxue said. She was a very smart girl. Whatever Wang Yao taught her, she would be able to learn in one go. She would be able to grasp the basics of the fist technique very quickly. Furthermore, she was able to learn it to the level of spirit. This talent made even Wang Yao feel ashamed of his inferiority. Fellow villagers, pay attention. Before 9 o'clock, the loudspeakers in the village that had been silent for a long time began to broadcast. A highway needs to pass through our village. The government has already issued a policy. Everyone, come to the village committee in the next 2 days to see whose land has been occupied and prepare to receive compensation. Sir, are you going to build a road here? Su Xiaoxue asked curiously after hearing the news. Yes, the highway is under construction. Originally, it was not going to pass through here, but I don't know why it suddenly changed its plan. It will pass through our village and pass through here. Wang Yao pointed at Nanshan Hill under his feet. Originally, he didn't want to tell Su Xiaoxue about this. Now that she was here and happened to hear the broadcast, he might as well tell her directly. Pass through Nanshan Hill? After being in contact with Wang Yao for a while, she naturally knew what the mountain and the forest meant to him. Sir, what do you think? I will never let it pass through here, Wang Yao said with a smile. I see. 4 simple words. Wang Yao's attitude was her attitude. In an instant she thought about more things. Who suddenly changed the plan? Was it specifically targeted? She was very clear about who was in charge of the village. Previously, she was most worried about this aspect. Neither of them continued to talk about this matter. Su Xiaoxue spent the day with Wang Yao and his family. Wang Yao didn't go to the village committee to ask about the compensation. In the evening, Wang Jianli took the initiative to come to his house and tell him about it. According to the relevant standards, the compensation was 45,000 acres of land. The land that passed through Nanshan Hill would naturally occupy a lot of land. Looking at the number, Wang Yao didn't have the slightest joy. Yao, I can probably guess what you are thinking, but listen to me, an arm can't twist a leg. He knew that this young man knew some people with a good background. In his opinion, this kind of thing was not something that ordinary people could help with. According to the common practice of modern people, Demolition and occupying land was a good thing, which meant a lot of income could be earned. How long would it take to exchange a few acres of land for more than $100,000 of income? I know. Thank you, uncle, Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay. After seeing Wang Jianli off, Wang Yao followed him up the hill. The wind on the hill was very cool. Wang Yao sat in the herbal field and quietly played with the sky. San Xian, someone wants to take back our Nanshan Hill. Woof. The dog suddenly stood up. You don't agree, right? I won't agree either. We have to think of a way, Wang Yao whispered. The next day, Wang Yao took Su Xiaoxue to the airport and went to Jing with her. Sir, did you ask me about that road? Yes, I'll see if there is any room for flexibility, Wang Yao said with a smile. Who do you want to see? I didn't want to bother you. I want to see the Wu family, Wang Yao said truthfully. Sir, you are too polite. Leave it to me, Su Xiaoxue said as she patted her chest. Wang Yao was a little speechless after hearing that. Why do I feel that sometimes I am a little useless? Shouldn't this kind of words be said by a man? Xiaoxue, about this matter, can I ask first? Wang Yao said. He wanted to give it a try. Network management. Well, okay. Su Xiaoxue was surprised. Although this matter had a natural advantage for her. The plane landed in Jing. Wang Yao went to see Su Xiaoxue's family. Su Xiaoxue did not mention this matter to her mother. Then Wang Yao went to see Gu Yuanyuan. Sir, I'm sorry, Director Wu went to the province below and will not be back until tomorrow, Song Ruiping said. Okay, I'll wait for him for a day, Wang Yao said. In the Su family's house, Xiaoxue, did Wang Yao come this time for something? Song Ruiping asked her daughter. Well, he did have something to do, but he said he wanted to try it himself first, Su Xiaoxue replied. This matter is not easy to handle, is it? Well, it shouldn't be too difficult, Su Xiaoxue said with a smile. Can you tell me what it is? Not now, Su Xiaoxue said with a smile. I promise, sir, to keep it a secret. You are not married yet, but you are already on his side? Mom. Su Xiaoxue's pretty face blushed. Well, forget it if you don't want to say it, Song Ruiping said. Remember to tell me if there is anything. Got it. Su Xiaoxue had already thought about it. If Wang Yao could not solve it, she would take over the matter. She also had another thing to do. At night, the two of them had a quiet candlelit dinner and then walked around outside. Jing was indeed bustling at night, or even more so than during the day. It could be said to be a sleepless city with endless traffic and feasting. However, Wang Yao felt it was far inferior to the mountain village where he lived. He could not feel the kind of tranquility there. The key was that he did not have any sense of belonging there. Standing in front of the glass bed, he looked at the cars below and the neon lights in the distance. In this 1,000-year-old ancient capital, modern and historical were intertwined with each other, but they were also separated. It bore a bit too much. The next afternoon, Director Wu came back. At night, they met in a very quiet place, which was the property of the Wu family. Dr. Wang, you came in a hurry. What can I do for you? Wu Tongxing asked. I have something to trouble you with. Wang Yao was very straightforward. Please go ahead, Wu Tongxing said. He was very surprised that Wang Yao took the initiative to come to him. When Wang Yao said that he had something to ask him, he was even more surprised. However, he was happy. This meant that their relationship was one step closer. It was no longer a simple business of money. Wang Yao immediately told him about the matter. This matter? Wu Tongxing asked. Yes, can you help me? Was this matter difficult? It was not difficult. In fact, it was much simpler than he had imagined. It was not like changing the overall plan of a highway. It only needed to change a small point. What kind of place was Qi Province? Who was in charge there? Wu Tongxing thought a lot for a moment. I'll give you a reply tomorrow. Thank you. You are welcome. That night, Wu Tongxing figured out the general cause of the matter through his own connections. Well, there is indeed some knack for it. Should I help or not? Wu Tongxing was thinking. He knew that even if he did not help, with the ability of the Su family, it would not be a problem to solve it. Yes. In the end, he decided to help. It would be a good karma. Chapter 701. He needed to think about how to intervene. Wang Yao stayed there for a day. He went to the Wu family's house and carefully treated old Master Wu. The old man's body was like rotten wood. Now, he wanted to delay as long as he could. At the Beijing airport, don't you want to stay for a few more days? Su Xiaoxue was reluctant to leave. I'll come again when I have time, Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay. Su Xiaoxue stood on tiptoe and gently kissed him on the face. It was cool and soft. Wang Yao was suddenly stunned. He had a special feeling all over his body. It was as if he had been slightly shocked by electricity. Chu Lian, who was not far away, saw this scene and was stunned. This young lady is really Wang Yao, who came to his senses, held her in his arms and did not let her go for a long time. Boom! The plane took off and went straight into the sky. Under the clouds, a beautiful woman stood there quietly, looking at the sky. Let's go, Mississippi. Wait a little longer. The sky in Beijing seemed to be particularly high today. Auntie Lian. Yes, Mississippi. What can I do for you? Some people are really hateful, Su Xiaoxue said for no reason. Chu Lian was stunned for a moment. She didn't know why the little princess suddenly said such a thing. Although she sounded calm, Chu Lian was sure that the little princess was very angry at this time. However, the little princess's cultivation was obviously better than others. Basically, no one could see the change in her expression. Although she was very angry in her heart, she was calm on the surface. That Mr. Guo? Besides him, who else could it be? After this trip to the mountain village, as soon as Su Xiaoxue heard about the matter, she immediately thought of that person. After returning, it only took a day for her to find out the reason for the matter. The sudden change in the plan required passing through the mountain village and passing through Nanshan Hill. It was such a targeted change, and it happened that Mr. Guo was in power. As long as one had a little bit of brain, one could figure out the reason behind it. After returning, Chu Lian told this matter to Song Ruiping. Build the road and pass the mountain? Yes. Is this Guo Jinghe's idea? I've done some research. The possibility of this happening is very high. These people were very well informed. With just a phone call, they could know what was happening thousands of miles away. Well, he looks like a good kid. Why is he so disappointing? So, he went to the Wu family? Yes. Tut, the Wu family can also do this. It's just a matter of taking a few detours, Song Ruiping said. In fact, it would be easier for them to do this. All right, I got it. Her precious princess had completely fallen in love with Wang Yao. She was unable to extricate herself. She was not prepared to break up the couple. At the very least, she still approved of Wang Yao deep in her heart. You should pay more attention to this matter. I understand. After Chu Lian left, only Song Ruiping was left in the study. She just sat there quietly, not knowing what she was thinking. Wang Yao arrived in Hike in the afternoon. He took a taxi back home, told his parents, and drove out directly. He went to the highway engineering project that was still under construction. It was nearly 6 p.m., but they had not finished work yet. Master, you haven't finished work yet? Wang Yao got out of the car, took out a cigarette, and handed it to a man who was working. Hey, aren't we catching up with the progress? We work overtime every day. I heard that the route has been changed. It has been changed. Originally, it was a good road, but now we have to take a detour. I guess these people want to change the way to make money. The man took the cigarette and lit it. Because of this change, we have to hurry up with the construction period. The original plan was very good, but suddenly there is more work. Hey, how long do you think it will take to build to Songbai town? Soon. According to this progress, it will take less than a month, the man said. After chatting for a while, Wang Yao drove away. He didn't know whether the Wu family had already started their plan or not. Everything had to be prepared. In a county thousands of miles away, Guo Jinghe was in a good mood. He had just introduced a project through investment. The investment in the first phase was 100 million yuan. After the completion, it could provide good tax revenue for the finance. This was also the biggest project he had received after coming here. It was also a political achievement project. After all, this was a backward and remote county. The transportation was not convenient, and there were no resources. If it was not because of his personal relationship, the other party would not have built the factory here. After returning to the office, he received a phone call. Then, his face became a little ugly. The people of the Wu family, their hands are really long. He stood in front of the window and looked at the county outside. Tut! This move had been made. Was there going to be a change in the middle? He took a deep breath and calmed down. I can't give up like this. Let's try again. He stood in front of the window and thought for a long time. Then, he made a phone call. It was July in midsummer. The sun was like fire. It was the hottest time of the year. In the early morning, the temperature outside was as high as 30 degrees, which made people very uncomfortable. On this day, some people came to the mountain village. They were the relevant personnel in charge of land occupation compensation. Their purpose was very simple. They had to verify the land occupation and then consider the issue of land occupation compensation. It was not their business who would pay the money. Wang Jianli was responsible for receiving them. He walked around the place where the road was going to pass, but he chose not to go to Nanshan Hill. Which mountain? One of the people directly pointed it out. This mountain has been rented out. Even if it has been rented out, it still belongs to the state. Let's go and have a look. It's dangerous. What danger? Let's go. The leader was quite disdainful. Then, they went from Dongshan Hill to Nanshan Hill. They encountered the rows of trees, which were like walls blocking their way forward. Is there no other way? Yes, go down the mountain from here and go around it. Forget it. Go through here. The leader seemed to be quite dissatisfied. These trees grew very fast, and they did not grow alone. There were shrubs between the trees. It was very narrow. If they wanted to go through, they would be able to, but it was inevitable that they would be stained with things like grass and leaves. Ouch! One of them screamed. It turned out that he had been scratched by wild jujubes. These plants were actually not eye-catching, but they could be hurt by their sharp thorns if they were not careful. The leader's face became more unpleasant. What is the person who contracted this place doing? Planting medicine. Medicinal herbs? Are these also medicinal herbs? They are used to prevent thieves, Wang Jianli said. He did not look at the faces of these people. Each and every one of them was so arrogant, which made him very unhappy. Moreover, these people were not from the county, nor the city, nor were they his superiors. If it were not for the land occupied by the village, he would not be willing to accompany them to the mountain. As soon as they heard what he said, the faces of these people became unpleasant. How can this party secretary be so ignorant? They did not say anything, but they were not in a good mood. Woof! With a bark, a dog appeared in their sight. Damn it, where did such a big dog come from? The few of them were stunned. Is this a lion? Let's go here, Wang Jianli calmly said. Everyone in the village knew that Wang Yao had a big dog on the mountain. This was the biggest deterrent, so people on the mountain basically did not go near Nanshan Hill. Yes, such a big dog would bite off a lot of meat. They were delicate people, so they did not dare to take the risk. They went back along the way and went down the mountain. How many years has this mountain been contracted out? 30 years. How many years? This is against the rules, right? These people were stunned. We have always done things according to the rules, Wang Jianli said coldly. Both the guests and the host were unhappy. After going down the mountain, they happened to meet Wang Yao, who was coming out of the clinic. Uncle! Hey, this Dr. Wang is the owner of Nanshan Hill. Wang Jianli pointed at Wang Yao and said, "These leaders are here to see the site and the compensation." Oh! Wang Yao just responded simply. He did not even look at those people. They were all high and mighty. What was wrong with looking down on these ordinary people? Chapter 702. They looked at Wang Yao's disdainful expression and were angry. Everyone in this village is so arrogant. When you put yourself on a pedestal and look down on others, others may not even look at you. Humph! The few of them left angrily. Anger hurts the liver. Drinking alcohol hurts the stomach. Smoking hurts the lungs. With just a glance and a sniff, Wang Yao could tell that none of the people from above were healthy. TSK, TSK, TSK. They drank and partied all day long. They didn't know that a disaster was coming. Take care. I won't see you off. The car left the village. Wang Jianli went back to the village committee with a cigarette in his mouth. It's a small mountain village, but everyone is so arrogant. Reduce the compensation for them, especially that young man. The temperature was very high that day. Perhaps because of this, not many people came to see the doctor. There were 2 people in the morning and none in the afternoon. Wang Yao cleaned the clinic early. In the small courtyard, the cool wind blew. The temperature was less than 30 degrees. It was very comfortable. When it was close to evening, a person came. As soon as he saw Wang Fengming, Wang Yao hurriedly invited him into the inner room and made him a cup of tea. "Uncle, what's the matter? I really have something to talk to you about." "What is it?" "Well, the seeds and seedlings you gave have been planted. What should I pay attention to in such a hot day?" "That?" Wang Yao smiled. "There's nothing special to pay attention to. Didn't you say that the place where you planted the herbs was covered by trees? I've seen it. It's not a big problem. These herbs were indeed afraid of being exposed to the hot sun." "That's good," Wang Fengming said. In fact, he didn't intend to make money from the beginning. He just didn't want to waste the seeds and seedlings provided by Wang Yao. "Don't you have anything else?" "That's all." The honest elder didn't say too much. After drinking a cup of tea, he left. When Wang Yao came out of the clinic, the sky was still very bright. At this time, even if it was 6 o'clock in the evening, there was still no darkness. After the meal, more and more people came out of the village to enjoy the cool air. They gathered in groups of 2s and 3s. If one looked carefully, even the youngest ones were in their 40s. Most of them were in their 50s or 60s. Empty nests and aging were common phenomena in modern society, but they were more severe in rural areas. After dinner, Wang Yao walked around the village alone. All the people he met were elders and a few children around 5 or 6 years old. There were no young people around his age. There are basically no more young people in the village. "Hey, isn't that Feng Hua's wife?" "He's the only one left." He also overheard the conversation between the old men. "Am I the only one left?" Wang Yao went up Nanshan Hill slowly. In the medicinal field, some of the medicinal herbs had already matured. He planned to harvest some of them tomorrow and process them. In the provincial capital hundreds of kilometers away. In a solemn office, there was a dignified man. "Have you found out?" "Yes," the man said. "Okay, you can leave now," the man said. The secretary went down quietly and then gently closed the door. Bang! The man threw the cup in his hand on the table. "Sigh," he sighed. The next morning, the early sun was a little dazzling. It was destined to be a very hot day. "I hate this kind of weather," Fan Yuan said as he looked up at the rising sun. "Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. It's only when the 4 seasons are distinct all year round that it has flavor." When Juan was sitting under the awning in the yard. At this time, it should be particularly stuffy at home. It was far from being as cool and quiet as the mountain village. "This is a really good place." What kind of place was a good place? It was a good place that people didn't want to leave. "You like it here, but I don't," Fan Yuan said. Very few young people liked this kind of life. To put it nicely, it was monotonous. To put it bluntly, it was boring. "Is Dr. Wang in the clinic today?" "No, I saw his Weibo. The clinic is not accepting patients today." "Let's go to have a look tomorrow," Fan Yuan said. "I think my body is recovering quickly. I should be able to go out for a walk." "Where are you going?" "I'm going out for a walk. Don't you think it's too stuffy here?" When Juan asked with a smile. "I'm just saying. Don't take it seriously," Fan Yuan said with a smile. "That's settled. Let's go to the seaside. I want to see the sea too." "Come on," Fan Yuan said with a smile. On Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao harvested some of the mature herbs. Some of these herbs needed the roots, such as gentian and radix radic. Some needed the leaves, such as Pinellia. Some needed the leaves, stems, and root. He picked them, removed the soil, washed them, and dried them. Most of these herbs needed to be processed before they could be used as medicine. Most of them could be dried, some could be stir-fried, and some could be directly used as medicine. Wang Yao planned to keep all of these herbs for his own use. On the one hand, there were a lot of patients in his clinic, so there was a lot of medicine. On the other hand, he was going to prepare some of them. After the pharmaceutical factory was built, the first batch of herbs he grew on the mountain would be used. The quality was absolutely guaranteed. The whole morning was just a few minutes. It was very cool on the mountain. It could even be described as spring all year round. At this time, Ji was different. It was originally a famous stove. The temperature was now 37 degrees. Noon was the hottest time of the day. As the leader of a province with a large economy and population, Guozhaojun was very busy. He deliberately took out the whole afternoon. He cancelled all the meetings. He wanted to see someone in the afternoon and have a good chat with him. "Dad, what's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry?" Guozhenghe rushed over from Nanjiang because his father had called him the day before. He had a kind smile on his face. "Have a seat." Guozhaojun looked at his son and asked slowly, "How's the work there?" "It's fine. I just signed a contract for an investment project some time ago. You know the situation in our county. The transportation is inconvenient, and the foundation is thin. It's too poor." Guozhenghe poured a cup of tea for his father and then poured a cup for himself. "What project?" "Batteries." "Lead batteries?" "Ah yes. That project is polluted." "I know this. I have communicated with the manufacturer. They must be equipped with relevant sewage treatment equipment," Guozhenghe said. "A few years ago we sacrificed the environment in exchange for economic development," Guozhaojun said. "Now we have to go back and clean up the mess and make up for the mistakes we have made. Environmental protection and safety are emphasized from the top. There is no room for negotiation. In this regard, we can't touch the edge. You have to be clear about this." "I understand, Dad. Let's talk about something else." Guozhenghe straightened up after hearing that. He knew his father definitely didn't call him to ask about these things. There must be something else. He could vaguely guess it. "Do you have anyone you like there?" "Ah no." Guozhenghe was stunned when he heard that. In that remote county where he lived, there were people who took the initiative to express their goodwill to him. However, in his opinion, those people were only interested in his background. How could they be worthy of his attention, even if it was just a fleeting relationship? Are you still thinking about Xiaoxue? Ah yes. It was a admission. Your mother has asked your Auntie Song, and I have also communicated with your Uncle Su. They mean to respect Xiaoxue. I heard that Xiaoxue already has someone she likes. Do you know this? I know, but aren't they not married yet? Guo Zhenghe asked with a smile. A forcibly picked melon is not sweet. If you want to make her change her mind, you have to do it openly. You can't use those shameful means. Guo Zhenghe bowed his head and remained silent. He knew his father's temper. I'm sorry, Dad. I am the leader here. I have to be responsible for this place. Changing the plan of a highway, even if it is just a little, will cost a few million more. Plus the compensation for the land, it will cost tens of millions more. Who will pay for it? The country's money is not money. You are using public money for private purposes. Guo Zhaojuan's tone unconsciously became heavier. He was very disappointed. He didn't expect his son to do such a thing. Chapter 703. This was a matter of principle. Looking at his father's serious face and eyes, Guo Zhenghe, who had always been intelligent and eloquent, did not know how to answer for a while. He could only admit his mistake. In this world, there was always one thing that could subdue another. Young Master Guo was most afraid of his father. There were some things that he did not tell his father, whether it was in the place where he was in power or personal matters. It was not that he did not want to, but that he did not dare to. This time, you used public resources for private purposes. Next time, will you directly hire a murderer? Guo Zhaojun asked sternly. No, I won't make such a mistake again, Guo Zhenghe hurriedly said. He knew his father was really angry. From today onwards, you are not allowed to have any personal contact with this local official. If I find out, you will go back to Beijing directly. Yes, Guo Zhenghe immediately replied. Also, regarding the matter of Wang Yao, you should stop now. Since she doesn't like you, then give up. The world is so big, and there are many excellent girls. I still say that you can only be open and aboveboard. Don't use insidious means. Don't forget, she saved your life. I know, father, Guo Zhenghe said. Well, tell me about your next plan. This meant that they were going to be tested. After listening, Guo Zhenghe pondered for a moment. Then, he told his father some of his political ideas in front of some of his own. This was his understanding and summary of his work after stepping into the officialdom for a period of time. He had never told anyone before. Guo Zhaojun listened quietly. At some points, he interrupted his son and asked a few questions to let him continue. Well, he was very pleased that his son could have his own way of thinking about governance. This was equivalent to knowing what one's purpose was before doing something, and then using what methods and means around the purpose. This was the basic framework. Guo Zhenghe had no problem with it, and Guo Zhaojun did not deliberately tell him some of his own ideas. He only carefully explained to his son some of the things that he had to pay attention to when he was engaged in a special profession. What could be done, what should be done actively, and what should not be done. He had to understand the spirit and intention of the higher-ups and maintain consistency. These were the most basic things that had to be known. Zhenghe, don't think that the Guo family is wealthy and powerful. Our family has been officials for generations, and I'm sitting in my current position. You have to know that many people are watching us, waiting for us to make a mistake and replace us. It was true that aristocratic families were glorious, but under that glory, there was unimaginable pressure. No one wanted to be in the limelight today, only to have the sun set in the west tomorrow. Guo Zhaojun wanted his son to know these things. At the very least, he couldn't make any mistakes. For example, if this matter was known by those with ulterior motives, it would be a weakness that could be used to attack him. On this path, sometimes it wasn't about how dazzling your achievements were, but whether you made mistakes. The doctrine of the mean had been highly respected by officials since ancient times. He knew his son's personality very well. He wanted to do things, he wanted to do big things, he wanted to do everything better than others. Although it could be said that he had not yet reached the point of being greedy for grandiose achievements, perhaps he himself was not aware of this point clearly. Competitiveness was a characteristic of young people, but in the officialdom, it was not desirable. Don't go back tonight. Stay and have a drink with me. Okay. In the end, it was his son, the next generation of the Guo family. As a strict father, Guo Zhaojun also hoped that his son could be successful all the way. Aristocratic families, of course, had a high starting point, but it also made their children too smooth and lacked some setbacks. In this life, no one would have a smooth life. There were storms and setbacks. In the mountain village, Wang Yao harvested part of the herbal field in one day. He then flattened the land and planted new herb seed. As for the repeated planting, in such a place, in the spirit-gathering battle array, there was no such thing. After all this, he tidied up the herbs and prepared to make a batch of pills in the next 2 days. When it was almost dark, he went down the mountain. He happened to see Wang Ziqing coming out of his home, carrying tools and preparing to go up the mountain. Why are you back so early today? The factory over there is not so busy, so I don't work at night, Wang Ziqing said with a smile. Where are you going? I want to go to the field to see how the herbs I just planted are growing. Let's go together. Oh, okay. The two men went to Wang Ziqing's field together. These fields were all reclaimed on Dongshan Mountain. They were terraced fields, one by one, arranged along the hillside. Each piece was only a few centimeters or even smaller. It was not big. The fields were not purely cropped. There were also some trees on the ground, including peach trees, apricot trees, and cherries. In Wang Ziqing's field, the new seedlings of the herbs grew well. Look, is this okay? In order to plant these herbs, he had spent a lot of effort. Well, it's very good, Wang Yao said with a smile. In fact, the earliest herbs were wild plants, but people discovered their medicinal value and tried to plant them artificially. This was the same as the crops at the beginning. They grew on the mountain and were not so delicate. What's more, the environment of Dongshan Mountain was actually good. Are these saplings in the way? He pointed to several saplings in the field. Not in the way, as long as they are here. Wang Ziqing stayed and cleaned up the weeds in the field. Wang Yao went down the mountain. It was dark, and the wind blew away a lot of the scorching heat of the past few days. The next day, the clinic opened. When Wan and her son came first. We want to go out for a walk. Do you see my mother's body? It's fine. It's good to go out for a walk. Oh, okay, thank you, Fan Yuan said happily. Where are you going? The seaside. The seaside. Don't go there these days. What's wrong? It's going to rain, Wang Yao said with a smile. Fan Yuan patted his head. How could he forget about the weather? After they left, several patients came in the morning. They all had gastrointestinal discomfort. The first was a young man. His face was a little pale. He had severe diarrhea. He was from the village. Brother. Diarrhea? Yes. How many days has it been? 3 days. Open your mouth. Have you eaten a lot of barbecue recently? Yes, 4 or 5 times. Have you also drunk beer? How can you not drink beer when you eat barbecue? He had severe diarrhea since yesterday. Today happened to be his grandfather's birthday. He came back to the village and listened to his family. He came to see Wang Yao. Your stomach is out of balance and your body is hot and humid, Wang Yao said. You still eat things that can make you heaty. I'll prescribe some medicine for you. Dark plum, Codonopsis, Atractylodes, and Perilla. A few simple herbs could stop diarrhea and reduce astringency. Eat a light diet, Wang Yao said. Don't eat greasy, spicy, and sweet things. Also, eat less watermelon. Okay. The young man got up and left. In fact, he could get some Western medicine for his illness. The second patient was a child, about 5 or 6 years old. His mother brought him to the village. He also had diarrhea and diarrhea. Have you eaten a lot of ice cream these days? Yes, 3 ice cream a day is not enough, the woman said. Come, lie down. I'll rub it for you. After the child lay down, Wang Yao gently rubbed his abdomen. He could hear the sound of his intestines growling. The stomach of a child is far more fragile than that of an adult. You must control these cold drinks. Don't eat too much. It's best not to eat, Wang Yao said as he massaged the child. In fact, the so-called cold drinks, cola, and the like did not have any effect of cooling down and relieving the heat. On the contrary, it could cause gastrointestinal discomfort. The reason people liked it was because it was delicious and tasty. They felt quite comfortable when they ate and drank it. How do you feel? It's quite comfortable, the child said. When Wang Yao massaged him, he kept farting. Wang Yao did not care. Then, Wang Yao prescribed him a medicine to clear away heat and stop diarrhea. The third patient still had diarrhea. Cough, cough, cough. The man was still coughing. Have you caught a cold? Yes. How many days has it been? 3 days. I started to have diarrhea yesterday. What medicine did you take? The man told Wang Yao the medicine. Your diarrhea was caused by the cold. To be precise, it was caused by the cold medicine you took, Wang Yao said. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.